I am the GM of this game. I'm Kurt, and I've got some lovely players here who I would love if they could introduce themselves. I don't know where people, so let's just start with Gidget. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm very excited that we are playing. Yay.
How about you, Night Sun? How you feeling today?
I am also here.
That is a fact. We
I
can
am
see you in the
present.
camera.
It is morning. I don't know why we keep doing this in the morning.
Because this is the time that we do it. Because we promised people we would do it at this time, and we're going to do it at this time.
Yes.
I want
How
to
about you,
renegotiate
Handor?
my contract.
I are good. I are going to play Dungeon World.
All right, and our very special guest
Yay.
player today, we have Rob. Rob, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I am excited and caffeinated, and I am ready to introduce the world to my new character.
All right.
Yay.
I'm gonna do the whole stream pretending to also be Rob, playing.
Yeah,
a new
perfect. Perfect.
Is that you saying you don't remember how to play your old character?
What? No.
That's ridiculous. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, you've only been dead for what, 2 months now?
Yeah.
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 I know this is your first big back to Pixel Scandal since you got your kidneys back.
Yeah. I was in.
How'd that quest for your kidneys go?
Well, got him back. That's all I need to say.
Okay. Some dwarf had him. He was drinking up a storm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, if you're just joining us, if this is your first time with us here for Paper Scandal, this is episode 5, which means there are 4 other episodes of Dungeon World that you could go back and watch if you'd like to do something like that. You can find us on twitch.tv/Pixel Scandal. You may be watching us here, or you can find us on YouTube by searching Pixel Scandal. You can also find us on Twitter if you want to know when we go live at Pixel Scandal. And if you'd like to email us on the show, you can do that, pixelscandal@gmail.com. But the first 4 episodes of this show were sort of a little arc where we spent some time in Andona Cali, and some statues were stabbed, some blood was spilled, and some chimeras were collected. But there's been a little bit of a gap since then. We've had some time off. And in fact, we had a one-shot of World of Dungeons Turbo Breakers in which our characters, these players' wonderful characters, were seen in that adventure. So we're gonna start off the game with something called a love letter, and each player is gonna get one, which will sort of describe the time that happened, like what happened to them in the Serpent Queen's Temple, which was where we saw them in that last adventure. And then eventually we'll get to our new character and we'll get to introduce them. So first of all, we're going to start with Forrest. I'm going to show this to players. Show to everyone. So hopefully that shows on the stream there. And all right. So Forrest, why don't you read that for me? And then it's going to ask you to roll some dice.
Cool. I'm great at that. Dear Forrest, after discovering signs of another rift in the Serpent Queen's Temple, you decided against your better judgment to head inside. Deep in the temple's halls, you clash fists with the Serpent Queen's monks. Roll plus dex.
Yeah, so you're going to want to roll dex there, and we're going to see what happened.
Right.
So I am while he does that, I'm very new. We'll see how they go. Did it right.
I know. Don't write them at all.
Oh, 14.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, double 6 boxcars. All right, well, why don't you read that on a 10 plus result?
Yep. On a 10 plus, you incorporated their unique serpent style into your own fighting technique to defeat them. Gain +1 forward on your first hack and slash against an opponent who hasn't seen you fight.
Ooh.
So you're going to want to hold on to that, because now you have a +1 on the first roll fight when people have. There was some really nasty stuff that could have happened to you.
Yay.
All right. So next,
It's just going to go downhill from here, guys.
yeah. So next we'll find out how Adelaide fared in the Serpent
Yay.
Queen's temple.
All right, dear Adelaide, from within the Serpent Queen's temple, it was easy to find the source of the energy that led you here. The strength of the ritual is staggering as you enter the temple chamber filled with several...
Serpent priestesses.
Sorry, I got distracted by our producer there. The strength is staggering as you enter the temple chamber filled with several serpent priestesses pouring energy into a large green crystal. Roll int. I'm gonna fail, guys. Where is it? Intellect. Int. Hey! I didn't do horrible.
All right, how'd you do?
I got a 10.
Oh my gosh, everybody's gonna do well. So read that on a 10.
Why? Why would you say that?
Yeah. It's already lower than Forest's. It's just gonna go downhill from here, guys. Okay.
At this rate, I'm getting a 6.
Yep.
You were lost in a trance as the ritual tears open a rift to another plane. In that instant, you gain a deeper understanding of the barrier and the magic that parts it. Gain +1 ongoing to rolls made to close rifts. That means it doesn't have to suck all of my blood out to do it?
No, you get to keep some.
Oh, that's good. Okay. I'm going to add that to
1d8 pints.
Yeah.
1d8 pints of blood.
1d8 points. Everybody's doing really well on these. So here we go. Wonderful William.
I hate you, Kurt.
I gave you the longest one. I'm sorry.
You look over your companions, each tied to a post, as the ritual expands the rift beyond the temple chamber. You can see your friend Threefort working his binds when all hell breaks loose. Obviously, he was the first captured. Strangers from the other side of the rift burst in with portable cannons and fire on the priestess. Threefort breaks his binds and runs to help you escape, handing you your hat. Well, he's good for something. A giant tiger man bounds across the room to free another captive before a woman's arms explode as she tries to interrupt the ritual. Blast of energy throws 3 foot forward towards the closing rift. Roll cha.
Cha, bruh.
Cha.
Woot.
Hey!
Did you roll well as well? Oh my god, everybody. All right, read on a 10 plus.
A million things go through your head as you reach out for your friend. But my friend?
Your friend Threefort.
Oh, Threefort, sorry. Forgot he was there. But you managed to craft the perfect goodbye in a fleeting moment. Threefort throws you the bag of holding with a sword hilt protruding from the top as thanks, and a final goodbye as the temple crumbles around you. Loot.
There were some really depressing options in here for the 7 to 9 and the 6 minus.
I know, but either way, it means we lost Threefort into the Serpent's Temple permanently.
Yeah, he is on the other side at present. And our new character,
Yay.
we're gonna show to players here. All right.
Dear Bufo, it was a dull riverboat ride. Just you and the crew for days, and they had already started to wonder why things were going missing. Then you saw them, 3 adventurers, plummeting towards the river from the cliff along with a couple of monks who decided to brave the jump. You dive into the water, eager to help. Roll plus con. So I just click, there we go.
Yep.
Hey!
Oh my gosh. You guys.
Yay! Man, this worked out well for everybody.
Everybody's doing great.
We're going to do fine if we just keep rolling 10 pluses.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
On a 10 plus, braving the rapids and rocks, you get all 3 of the adventurers and one of the monks onto the deck of the ship. The monk passes, but your heroics impress the crew and they sing your praises the remainder of the journey. You'll have free passage with any crew who's heard the tale of Bufo the Brave. Oh yes, this is all I want.
Okay.
Very nice.
So now we know how you guys met. Why don't you guys do me a favor and introduce your characters? Tell me a little bit about what you were doing on the boat ride, and then we'll pick up in port when you guys arrive in Amaran. Amaran. So let's start with Bufo, since you saved everybody. What's Bufo look like? What do you do?
So my name is Bufo Bogdweller. I'm an Anurian. An Anurian comes in 2 flavors. There are frog people and there are toad people. I am of the toad person variety. I have dark brownish green skin with black stripes and warts all over it. I'm about 3'9". I wear a greasy greased leather tunic with a hood. I'm a thief, so I have pockets filled with all kinds of sharp things and things used for breaking into places and stealing stuff. And I have a heart of gold.
We're still trying to figure out who was the original one.
All right.
and I guess I was on this riverboat because I have begun living a life of adventure ever since I have escaped the destruction of my people in Black Fountain, which is a swamp town. There was a war between the frog people and the toad people. The frog people won. And I, as far as I know, am the only survivor of my people.
Okay.
Tear.
Yeah, single tear.
Single tear.
Oh,
Single big fat tear coming out of a globe
yeah,
like
globular
toad eye.
tear out of these giant
Yeah.
toad eyes.
Just plops on the ground.
Yeah,
kind of oozes to the side a little bit.
yeah.
Aw.
I kind of lick it. You have to keep all your moisture, guys. It's really important for survival in the swamp.
Don't lose your moisture.
Don't lose your moisture. That's my catchphrase. Don't lose
Yeah.
your moisture.
Don't lose your moisture.
All right. Well, for people just joining us, do you want to introduce the rest of the cast? Who wants to go first?
Sure, I'll go next. I am Adelaide. I am an elf wizard. I have dark onyx skin. She is very attractive. She wears very flashy styled clothes, kind of like the assistant to a magician. Yeah, she was in the Serpent Temple with the rest of the group, and we made our way down to the river and got on this boat. While I've been on this boat, I kind of got to know Bufo a little bit and kind of share with him some of what happened in his past and a little bit of very little bit of my past. And I think somewhere in the last couple of hours, I realized what town we are headed towards, which is a town that I'm from. And I'm not particularly happy about that.
All right. Wonderful William, you want to give us a...
Well, I am the wonderful William. I am basically the hero of the story. I am duly appointed
You
representative
bastard.
of Andona. I closure of rifts, savor of maidens and children alike, savor of cities, and just all around great guy. And so after heroically leading my companions from the Serpent Temple, we ended up on this boat, and I have been regaling and trading stories with all of the crew and other passengers, so that the legacy of William can spread and make sure that everyone is aware of all of the amazing thing. In the process, though, I have met with Bufo and heard his sad tale, and so I am currently in the process of writing an epic, so that his tale will also go.
So he will be kept in the annals.
Yes, and he will not. Even though he will be the last of his kind, he will not be forgotten.
Bufo the Brave.
Bufo the Brave. I feel like I need to interject that anytime he tells the story of Andona, I don't contradict his story, but I definitely look real pissed that like he's taking all of the credit for all of my work.
As the story gets better and more exciting, the eye rolling gets more and stronger
Yes.
on her side.
Yeah.
The
Mhm.
fish
Like
gets
at one point, I
Every
do
time.
believe her eyes have rolled outside of her head and down the stairs.
Yeah, pretty much.
don't do that, you'll lose your moisture.
Yeah, I don't want to be famous, so I'm definitely not contradicting the story, but I'm definitely at any opportunity tripping William slightly so that he like stumbles on the deck of the boat a little bit, just to make him look a little less impressive.
I just don't have my sea legs yet.
All right, Forrest, what do you want to introduce yourself for any new people?
Sure. I'm Forrest. I'm a human monk. I am the strongest human monk. The
That ever
greatest.
lived?
Yes, I am the greatest fighter of all time. I'm a fighter. My history is that I became a slave and basically was forced to fight, and I was saved by a strange-looking short wart-ridden toad, and I've sworn to make sure that no harm comes to him, and
All right, which you have since been reunited with, yes?
yes, and yep, and we have grouped up now, and I am on the boat, essentially watching everyone else by myself, just disgusted with William, of course, as usual.
Per usual.
Yeah, per use. Just annoyed again that things just play out the way they do, and I guess more so I'm back to speaking with Bufo and kind of chumming with him. Good to see him again, and glad that he's
Hunting for
doing well.
sharks.
Yeah.
All right. So as the ship enters port, the port the river gets really wide right here, but there's a bit of a slower section where people can sort of move in and pull into port at. I'm never going to be able to pronounce this town. The Amiran. Call it Amarin. Pull into port in Amarin. It's a large city. The lower dock area is full of like partial stone, partial wood crafted buildings. A lot of things slapped together quickly. Looks like there's been a lot of growth lately in this city, and so they've had to put together more structures than they had space for. So there's sort of ramshackle stuff toppled high. Beyond that, you can see the peaks of the tents of the Grand Bazaar, which sort of forms the core of this city. And then on a rise on the opposite side of the city is the Palace District, where you can see these elaborate palaces that are that sort of fill that area, where all of the town's wealthy sort of build these large ostentatious buildings to show their wealth and prowess. The crew, as soon as you guys get docked in, it looks like the crew is getting off the ship here, and so they sort of turn. One of them turns to Bufo, and he's like, "You ever need a lift anywhere? You let us know. Anybody would be happy to have you on their ship."
Oh, thank you, Davos. That's such a nice thing to say. Here, and then I give him a little. It's like a shim, like a iron, a piece of iron that has a little mark on it that is like my marker, and I put it in his hand, and like this is like a little thing that I give people that I've had a connection with.
Okay.
so that they like remember me. And
Yeah.
it's like a coin check type thing for my people. But I'm like the
Nice.
only person left who's given them out because I'm the only person left.
Right.
So sad.
And you called him Davos?
Yeah, we'll call unless there was already a name. for
Nope.
him.
I like it. Davos has a coin chip or an iron shim.
Shim
I
check.
love that.
It's good for one pony ride.
Yeah.
Back at the Black Fountain Swamp. All right. So as you guys are making your way off of the ship,
I definitely
Um,
make put up like a hood, like don a cloak and put up a hood that obscures my face a little bit.
mhm. What? So this is probably one of the biggest trade centers in this region. What? And this is the first time that you guys have been back into civilization, probably since the Serpent Queen's Temple, except for maybe a few little towns along the river. What's the first thing you would do when you come into port?
Oh, definitely a bath. I think we've got to find ourselves an inn, a nice soft bed, and some place to clean up.
Someplace that isn't going.
Oh, yes. And something to eat other than fish.
I would also take a bath, but it would be like in a pig slop, a pig pen,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm used to living in literal mud. So like
Yeah.
I'm probably really unhappy with how clean I am being on a river.
Right.
I need to
There
get
hasn't been enough
yeah.
mud.
Yeah, I need to cake it up. It's really important to me.
Okay. All right. So you guys are gonna look around for like a bathhouse or an inn or something like that.
Yes.
Okay. And a mud pit
Yes.
for Bufo.
I would definitely, like, once we got off the boat and on the docks, I would turn to Forrest and I would hold your face and I would be, Forrest, we are not going to get into any fights while we're in town
This afternoon.
at all. Okay, Forrest? Like, no fights.
Gnome fights. What?
Yeah, no, no fights. Okay.
Forrest, it is
All
very important that I keep a low profile. And if you fight with people, it will bring a lot of attention on us. And I can't have that. So no fights.
I got it.
Fights.
Thank you.
I will not fight intentionally.
All right. So you guys just ask around, or do you remember where one is, Adelaide, since this is your hometown?
I mean, I definitely know where one inn is, and I would purposefully avoid that inn at all cost.
Okay.
I know, vague.
Yeah. So
Well, that's
so
the
you
inn that
ask-
I keep us heading towards.
I know, and I'm like, no, William,
You're
we
like,
need
no,
to
I
go.
know there's an inn right over here.
But this
Why
is
don't
the
we
inn
go-
that we were staying
No,
at.
no. But that one's got bed bugs. We have to go to a different one.
I'm sure they've taken care of it. It's been years.
Wait, they
Don't-
have free bugs? Like
I was gonna say-
you can eat them?
Doesn't Bufo?
It's just like complimentary bugs. Is that what you're saying? It sounds like a pretty good inn.
I mean,
You don't get that service anywhere.
fine. I mean, it is the best inn.
Well, yeah, and the innkeeper owes me a favor, so we could all just stay there.
Yeah, I guess.
So you guys are gonna head to the Silver Star Inn.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as you're passing through the docks, there's like lots of workers. You see a large sign that says Sunil Trading Company on like a warehouse, and this district is owned by the Sunil family.
I know that name.
Yeah, in your experience, Adelaide, from being in the city before, each district is sort of like sponsored by one of the 5 primary trade merchant princes that sort of run this town, and so the dock and trade district is owned by the Sunil family, and they have the best goods, as you guys are aware from your previous encounters with the Sunil Trading Company.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Silver Star Inn is located in the entertainment district. So do you guys make your way that direction?
Yes.
Okay.
Are there going to be women of the night there?
If you wish there to be there, I'm sure the
I mean,
entertainment
do you
district
ask
will
me
have.
that question?
Yeah, is that an in-character question?
Yeah, I ask Adelaide if there's going to be special women there.
There will be special women there. And I think I mean, it's been a long time since I've been here, but I think I know some of the better brothels on that end of town. I could point you at if you really want to.
Yeah, I do.
Seems to know an awful lot about them.
But you can't get in fights with the bouncers or they'll throw you out.
I am just going for, well, you know what I'm going.
Entertainment?
You know why I'm going. For personal reasons.
For personal
Bufo
reasons.
never really understood the idea of a brothel because he thinks that the women just like lay their eggs and then leave the room.
Yeah.
He's not really sure why you would pay for that, but to each his own.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
The humans, I don't know what they get out of these eggs.
So these humans are so weird.
Yeah.
They're into some freaky stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. All right, so you guys make your way through the docks. In order to get from district to district,
As we're walking, I want to be telling Forrest horror stories of the kind of diseases he could get if he were to go to a brothel.
oh yeah,
Because like Adelaide doesn't actually want you to go to a brothel, but she's not going to say that. So
Could have just said there aren't any.
I would just he'd see them walking.
He's
through
not smart enough to recognize them.
I think he would.
well that sounds like.
By the way,
you're
this is all in
spouting-
character.
Yeah, I'm like, no, he's
Are you-
smart enough. He'd be able to see him.
That sounds to me like you're spouting lore
I am spouting lore.
to tell him about all the communicable diseases.
William's trying to start a fight with me in the middle of the street.
All right, I will spout some lore. Yeah, I spouted some lore.
Oh man. All right. So tell you something interesting and useful about the subject relevant to your situation. So you well, let's see. You tell me what diseases are available here, and I'll see how those factor into.
Oh, I mean they're just like horror stories of like a guy who like it shriveled up, like it wasn't even there anymore. One guy
Aye.
fell off. Like
Jeez. These are
Yeah.
the
Later that day was eaten by a shark.
worst.
shark. That's
Yeah.
just
Shark,
awful.
Shark disease.
I mean, you can go to the brothel if you want, Forrest. I'm just saying that, like, you're risking
Shark.
things.
Yeah, I've suddenly lost a massive interest.
I think
I'm actually sick,
Which is what my intention was.
and it's the ambiance of the dog drinking water that's helping.
yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
Sam. Really,
Upper appears.
At least,
everyone. I'm sorry, guys. So I think part of that relevant information is that as oh my god, he's really.
It's the perfect theme for this.
As it's the docks. That's the.
I
that's
mean, you
the end.
have to stay hydrated. You have to stay
Yeah,
moisturized.
don't. That's just the lapping of the water at the docks.
Right, yeah.
So I think in an effort to reduce the amount of diseases that were being spread in the entertainment district, the let's see, what's the name of that entertainment family?
They cleansed it with fire.
They cleansed it with fire.
I mean, I'm really good
um,
at fireballs.
The Keys family made a deal with the Wave Breakers to try to bring in more people, like bring in fresh blood.
Fresh ladies.
Yes, fresh ladies. The Wave Breakers are they're sort of the like mercenary company. They started out as a mercenary company, but moved into all forms of human rental.
Yikes.
Yeah. So that's sort of their trade. And I think you, Bufo, would recognize the Wavebreaker name because they own the lands that sort of encroached on the swamp.
Oh,
Yeah, Wave City was the name of the town that was formed on the edge of the massive swamp that Black Fountain, my hometown, was a part of. And when that human city started growing, that's what pushed the frog people into our town and caused that, for lack of a better term, civil war between the Anurian people. So I've definitely heard. I've heard of the Wave Breakers before.
So they've been tasked with getting new people into the entertainment district as a means to sort of refresh the pool, as it were.
Is there active? Is there like an active market that Bufo would notice of like people being bought and sold, or people in cages or chains or anything like that?
There is the Grand Bazaar, which you guys are going to have to pass through in order to get from district to district. The city's sort of set up like you have to exit the gift shop to get to the next town.
Okay.
So you would definitely, if as you left the docks, to your left is going to be the Wave Breakers area of the market, and to the right would be the Keese area, which is the entertainment district. So as you pass through, actually, as you enter the bazaar, let's paint the scene a little bit. Why don't each of you tell me one sight or something that you encounter as you move through the Grand Bazaar?
All along the tops of the stalls, there are these canvas stalls that line the path, and this whole area is infested with these big tropical birds that have multicolored plumage that shimmers in the light, and they are from far away. It just looks like there are these brightly colored shingle roofs on the canvas stalls, but when you get closer, you see that it's actually just every inch of it is covered with these tropical birds.
That's awesome.
I like the idea of tropical birds.
So it's like actually really pretty.
Yeah, until you get up close, and then you realize that the bazaar is just, you're kind of walking through filth, and
everything's covered in bird shit.
Yeah, and it's more of a from far away it looks like these brightly colored roofs. You get closer, and they're these beautiful birds. Then you get even closer, and you realize, oh, it's just they have teeth. They're more saurian than bird-like when you get closer to them, and they're just nasty creatures, and they have infested this whole area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's these there's a pox of tropical birds.
Yeah. This is like the pigeons and rats of this area.
These horrible, beautiful birds.
Yeah.
These horrible creatures.
I'm gonna say that there's a bunch of buildings and stuff of like where the shops, the like established shops are, but there's also probably like a lot of like carts lining the road as well. And those, like, the majority of the cart type people are like not associated with the families or like the merchants. They're the farmer outside of town that pushed his cart all the way into town to try to sell his like cucumbers or melons or something. And so these are like the poor people of the area that are trying to sell their wares, probably not officially on the streets. Like the guards and stuff of the area probably don't like push them out or rough them up or anything unless they're having a bad day or they think it would be funny or whatever. But like technically, they're not supposed to be selling their stuff on the streets.
Okay, but it's sort of it's one of those things where it's only illegal if it's enforced.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Like you piss off the wrong person, it's now illegal for you to be here.
Okay. All right. So we have a bunch.
All I heard was selling melons on the street. They reminded me of going to a brothel.
You just lost your whole track of.
Damn it.
Forrest is a very simple man.
What does Forrest see as he walks through the Grand Bazaar?
That's a tough question. Obviously this is
People for him to fight.
yeah. Yeah, there's like one of them just walking with me.
Are you looking for a fight?
I've been specifically told to not start any fights.
But he can still look for them.
There.
I'm trying to I'm honestly not looking at anything. I'm like looking just at like Adelaide. Like I'm staying focused on Adelaide. I'm not even looking at anything else.
Just got blinders.
You're like, I stare at the
Yeah.
ground.
I think that there is a tradition of gladiatorial combat in the mercenary family. What did I say their name was? The Wavebreakers. And so there are probably banners for prize fights and for people that want to come and fight for show. Like advertising,
where we could
come and
where we could just fight and not like there not be consequences.
yeah,
And
like come
all
and
of a
fight
sudden
for
we just
show and
see a
money.
Smoke cloud that looks roughly like Forrest.
Well, I'm wondering, and I'm wondering if that would trigger you at all with your past of being like a slave fighter.
In fact, these are probably the people that Bufo saved you from.
Well, here's the thing. I wasn't really like. You have to understand. I wasn't.
Just in a different area. If that's
Yeah. I wasn't like super upset about being enslaved because like, but at the same time, when he saved me, it was like he essentially explained to me that we needed to go and that this was bad. I had no idea that. This was something that happened when I was a young child. I thought I was just doing something that was fun.
The problem was when he was a slave, he'd only fight once every couple weeks. Now he can fight people all the time.
All the time, yeah.
I can punch whoever I want.
yeah.
Yeah, so being a slave wasn't like even recognizable to me until I met Bufo. Like,
Okay.
it wasn't that he like saved me because I was depressed about being a slave. It was he saved me and I realized, yeah, I could like fight anywhere, anytime. And
I saved you by informing you, like, no, you can leave. Like,
yeah.
The door is
Yeah.
right there.
Like,
Like,
not
Yeah.
okay for you
You can
to,
just walk out.
yeah, like they can't stop you. That wouldn't be right for them to stop you. And then you just left,
Yeah.
and they knew they really couldn't stop you.
I think just because I don't want I'm thinking about how we
Are we back at the docks?
try to phrase it.
No, we're in the bazaar.
I think slavery is probably illegal,
Hmm.
but the wave breakers offer like poor individuals
indentures.
like a better life. Come and work for us or fight with us or get in the sex trade. Like, come on, it's great.
Right.
You'll make all this money, and then they just get them into that cycle where they never escape.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so technically the door is there, but they have no means to use it,
Right.
which is effectively the same thing as slavery.
Right.
It's a marketing issue.
Man, I feel like we're gonna get in a fight with some slavers
We're-
today.
We're gonna free some slaves, I think. What do you see, Wonderful William, as you're walking through the bazaar?
So right now we're wandering through the outskirts of the external bazaar. And that's where all the lowly just regular merchants do their business. As this is like a major trade port, there is actually a covered inner bazaar, which is actually the entrance is guarded, and it's more for the well-to-do folk, and they trade anything and everything from everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's the exclusive bazaar.
VIP.
That where all the
VIP
knights.
section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that where all the nice hats are?
Yes,
All
Well,
the best hats.
all the and of any variety I can imagine.
That is true. Are you currently wearing your feathered hat, or are you wearing a fez still?
I believe I have upgraded into a. Let's see, what would the snake people?
Oh, like what were their hats like?
I mean, yeah, 3-4 did hand you a hat right before you went through the portal, so.
I think at this point I have appropriated and stuffed a snake, and I'm wearing a coiled stuffed snake.
Oh,
Like a turban, kind of?
Yeah,
Like a pile,
Snake.
just a
Yeah.
pile of snake on your
a
head.
snake turban.
yeah, it's snake turban.
Okay.
I was waiting for you to say like the whole mouth thing where you're just like looking through.
Oh,
the-
like a giant snake where it's
Yeah.
like the
What am I, the villain
fangs
from
are-
Conan?
I'm just saying, man. That's where I would have took it, but
It's like I'm not a villain. All right.
well,
Not yet.
yeah.
Not if he tells the story.
So
Right.
yeah, I mean,
It's all,
As
all
you
about
guys-
perspective.
it's all about perspective. So as you guys are moving through the bazaar, I think you do find they're not in cages though, but there are you find some animal folk with these like signs that say like exotic and like other cringy words.
Ugh.
Mega.
Yeah.
Super yikes. I would like to go up to these animal folk, and I want to talk with them and ask them why they're in those cages.
Okay,
Can
so
they,
I
can they
think
talk? Are they intelligent creatures that would be able to
Yeah.
talk? Okay.
Oh
Yeah,
wow!
um,
Just assuming. Wow.
I'm an animal
from a
person.
toad
I can
person.
do that. I can
Yeah.
do that.
I'm an animal person. So I think you find
There's
There-
Goofies and there's Plutos, and that's just how this world is. All right.
yeah, it's half and half. This is how the dice landed. Yeah, so I think there's a sort of I guess like a window display is the best way I can describe it. And there's like a young fox girl and like a crow person, and probably a frog folk. And they're all sort of like standing there, and as people walk by, they wave. They seem sort of placid. And when you come up to who do you approach?
Oh man, I would probably approach.
Frog kick him in the shins.
I would probably approach. You said that it was a crow person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I knew some crow people like growing up in the village where I'm from. There are crow people in like near Black Fountain. I would probably be very wary of the frog person, but at the same time, they're not necessarily from the same group of frog people that I knew in Black Fountain.
Right.
So I would probably approach the crow person
Okay.
and ask why are they in these cages?
Well, we made deals. We took offer to join.
Why would you do such a thing? What did they have that you needed so badly?
Food was scarce, and they had flashy things, shiny things, many shiny things. They offered shiny things for service. I did not understand deal at time, but I still have many years left to earn shinies.
Were you tricked?
Tricked? Sort of. They did not explain everything until we arrived. They said, come to big city. There is shinies and food, much food, and all free for if we work.
Have they given you food?
Yes. Not good food like they had, but food.
You should renegotiate your contract. And then he leans in and he's like, do you have contract?
No, I did not get a contract. They said everything would be taken care of.
Without a contract, there's nothing to keep you here.
But we owe them for the food. And
Yes. They are not holding up their end of the bargain.
Well, not exactly like they said they would. That is true. Would you... And she leans in really close and she says, I don't know what would happen if I chose to run.
Is your fear because of the people who keep you here? Or is your fear because of what might await you were you to leave their protection?
A friend ran. I never saw them again. I don't know if they got away.
So, just to be candid, is it clear whether or not this crow person when they say they're not sure if they got caught, like are they not allowed to leave?
You get the sense that
cages.
Yeah, you get the sense that they are not allowed to leave, and if they do, they may get she fears for her safety.
She fears for her safety from the slavers.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I tell her a deal entered into without knowledge of the true terms is no deal at all. And therefore, they cannot keep you here if you do not wish to stay.
Could I come with you?
Of course.
She looks around, and you at that point a human arrives, and he's like, so I see you're inspecting our fine help. Do you have
what do you feed them?
Well, they fish, of course.
They've informed me that you have not been living up to the deal that you made with them.
They these animal folk, they well, I mean, I guess sure. Yeah, no. They're well taken care of. I assure you, young sir. What are you interested in any of their services they provide? No. All right. Well, then run along.
I am interested in their safety. I am interested in them getting the deal that they are owed.
So he sort of froze his brow and, all right, which one of them told you that they are not receiving what they need?
Ooh. it is something that I've picked up from discussing the situation with them.
I thought so. Well, if any of them are dissatisfied with the quality of their care, they can, of course, alert us right away. We'll take care of any of their needs that are not being met, as per the law.
Why don't you just allow any of them that are unhappy right now to leave?
They have racked up a bit of a debt with room and board, and they agreed to work off said debt. We had to feed them, get them here, clean them up, make sure they were able to speak any of the languages that are necessary for their services.
So this all sounds like very lawful evil to my chaotic good thief.
Yeah.
So I want to wreck this shit.
Yeah.
Didn't tell the frog not to stab people.
So I'm just gonna walk over and start trying the lock. Just gonna start letting him out.
Okay. So I think he's like, hey, you can't do that, and he starts walking towards you. And he's like, hey, get away from here! Come on, what are you doing?
One sec, Bufo. What's your bond with me? What is yours with mine?
That you have my back or I have your back.
Yeah.
One of those. Has my back. Forrest has my back when things go wrong.
Okay,
Yeah.
here
You
we
said
go.
this was a human, right?
Yeah, it's a human.
Let's punch this dude in the back of the head.
So it looks like this is gonna like go to a fight, right?
I
If he-
mean,
Not necessarily. We'll see.
there might
If
be
he
some-
touches you, I'm going to punch him in the back of the head.
Okay.
I'll walk up to the cage and I say, which of you would like to go?
And the crow that you were talking to before raises her feathers. She's like, I would like to leave.
I turn to the human slaver, and I say, this crow would like to leave. You should let her out.
That sounds like a parlay. So what is your leverage? Like, what are you using? Is it like a threat? How are we?
Well, so slavery is illegal.
Yes.
So I think that my leverage is that I will start, like their whole business plan is reliant upon people kind of just saying like, oh, these are all deals that everybody has. These are indentured servants.
They're not slaves. They signed
They're
up
not
for this.
slaves. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will start a scene and tell everybody that these are slaves, that these are enslaved creatures, that they're not allowed to leave, that they were lied to about what they would get.
I'd also like to interject. I come in. It's like, friend. You know, what's one guy? You know, you wouldn't want to involve the guards because you can clearly see that regulation is all servants must have at least 6 feet of lead in their chains. These are clearly less than that. You wouldn't want to get the guards involved.
So it sounds to me like Bufo is going to parlay and Wonderful William is going to aid. Does that sound about right?
Sure.
Okay.
So do we do the aid first and then we do the...
Yeah, let's do the aid first and see if you get your bonus. Okay.
Hey.
So you're going to take a +1.
And then I do parlay. So it'd be +1 would be a 9.
A 9. Okay. So he's like, oh, okay. No need to make a scene. Obviously, this crow is due for her break. She's free to leave anytime. She will, of course, still owe her debt to the Wavebreaker company, but I'm sure she's good for it.
I say yes, debts, money, paper, whatever, and like open up the cage.
And the other two look like sheepish, and you could tell that they kind of want to go, but they haven't like mustered the strength to they don't seem brave enough to challenge this.
I look at them and I say, "Is it your break as well?"
You know what? I kind of want some dice on this one to
Okay.
see, like, if you can spur them to action. What would that be? Let me look here. Why don't you just roll plus charisma, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, okay. 11.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. So the frog folk get like eyes you suspiciously, like trying to figure out if this is going to cause a problem. But the fox girl jumps up, she's like, "I want to go! I want to go now! I want to go right now!" And the frog's like seeing that they're going to be the only one left in the cage, like reaches down and undoes their bonds, because it's not like they're so they'll all like, yeah. The frog is like, yes, I will go too.
I'm also like staring daggers at this frog because I want to know, does this guy know that I know
Right.
that he might know that?
Mm-hmm. So the human looks visibly frustrated, but there are I think some guards turn the corner and are heading their direction, and there's like maybe a pack of like well-to-do folk who are on their daily bout through the market at the same time. And he like sees the scene, he sees that you're willing to cause this scene, and he just like gives up, and he's like, yes, of course, it is all of their break. I'm certain that they will pay their debts.
And I'm like, oh, go ahead, Arlene.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'm like, hey, come with me. You should spend your break. I know a great place. And I walk them like kind of shepherd them in direction past those guards that are coming, so that the human won't be able to just follow us and wait till the guards are gone and take them back. And when we turn around the corner or get some distance away, I'll turn to the fox and the crow and tell them that their lives are their own, and no one can keep them any place that they don't want to stay. And then the frog
fly.
Yeah. And then the frog person is about to like walk away, and I'm like, hold on, and like grab him by the collar of his tunic.
Yeah, you get like
and I stare him down, and I ask him, where are you from?
I am from. What did we say the name was? I am from Wave City.
Wave City.
Back in the cage with you.
Well, not necessarily, because he might be. Now I'm thinking he might be one of the people who was enslaved.
You're doing racism all wrong.
And his brother, yeah, his brothers and sisters might have been the ones that were displaced. So I'm going to try to get more information from him about that. I'll just tell him where I'm from. I'll tell him that I'm from Black Fountain. And do I maybe recognize this guy? I don't know how big Black Fountain is, but
you know what? Why don't we
maybe do a lore?
Yeah, why don't you spell out lore?
Just to see if I recognize him.
Yeah.
7. So maybe he looks familiar, but
he looks familiar. Maybe
I don't know his name.
People from his family or something like that.
So he has these markings on his face that indicate kind of like a lineage. Like that's kind of how we recognize each other. So there's a familial resemblance to a family that I knew, but I don't know this guy personally. I didn't know him back in Black Fountain personally. And and also maybe he's younger, so he probably maybe he was one of the ones that was enslaved.
Yeah, I think he was definitely captured early when the frogs were displaced.
So he might not even know what went down afterwards.
Right, like because he didn't seem shocked to see you, but he
Mhm.
seemed wary. So maybe he's heard that something happened, like there was a rift between the frog and toad folk, but he doesn't know why
yes.
or how.
Okay. So does he ask me about that?
Yeah, so I think he sort of looks at you and says, are you going to hurt me?
No, I'm not. I
Oh, good.
think
good,
you
good.
should know, though, that
Good.
your people committed some terrible crimes after you left,
I heard that
after
there
you were
was
taken.
I heard there was a fight or something.
It
There
was
was
more than a fight. It was a slaughter.
I didn't know what. Did you seem okay? Did your family escape okay?
I am the only one that is left.
No, they would
Yes.
not have.
If you are wise, you will take your own path, and you will never return to Black Fountain or to Wave City or to Muckmire Bog.
I agree. I was never much for fighting, and now it sounds like I may have been one of the lucky ones to be taken so young.
That hurts my heart. So I guess like I'll let him go. Like he'll turn and leave, and then before he takes a few steps, and then I call out to him and I ask for his name.
Rabton.
Rabton. My name is Bufo. What will you do now that you have your life back?
I always wanted to be a chef.
Then, Rabton, go and become the greatest chef that has ever lived. And perhaps something good will have come of the tragedy that befell our homeland.
Thank you, Bufo. I will never forget you.
Nor are you. And then I walk into the crowd, and like some people walk by, and then like I just disappear.
Okay. So Rabton, Frogfolk.
So I'm
So-
over by the slaver's shop, and as I saw Bufo come out with the animal people and start torch the guards, I do exactly the opposite and head into the building because the guards are coming toward and the nobles are coming toward me.
Yeah,
So
let's.
I would duck into the building.
So,
Okay.
after that whole exchange with Bufo, I mutter under my breath, "Man, that was boring." When I retell it, there's going to be a sword fight.
Right? Yeah.
This to be a dramatic sword.
Bufo the chain breaker.
Yeah, well, yeah, he breaks him out of the, breaks him out, and then as soon as his back's turned, the evil frog folk tries to stab you. But I shout a warning out, so you parry his attack and fight him back, and then let him live with his life.
Mm-hmm.
With an inch of his life.
He barely able to stagger off.
So you're ducking out of the way of these guards that are walking by.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a pretty crowded street, and how long has it been since you've been here?
What do we think,
Several
William?
days, probably, right?
At least
I'm thinking like 2-3 years.
2-3
Yeah,
years.
I would
Okay.
say, yeah.
Yeah.
So elves are fairly rare.
Yes.
They're more common in this town, but they are still fairly rare. And to be in this neighborhood as an elf might draw attention.
Yes.
Maybe not like, but it's like a famous person walking around town.
Yeah, that's why I have a hood up.
So you have your hood up and you're ducking around. So normally I wouldn't make you roll to hide in a crowded street, but because you're so recognizable, I would love for you to roll defy danger, I think, to be stealthy.
Defy danger using what?
Probably Dex, because you're trying to sneak out of the way.
I knew you were going to say that.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Yay, XP!
Okay, yeah, mark XP. I think that's the first fail since we actually started.
yeah.
You hide from the
So-
guards by jumping into a pile of armor, and it just clatters everywhere.
Well, maybe the guards didn't see me. Maybe the slaver sees me.
You know, I
And
think
arrest you.
Yeah, I don't think the guards see you. I think you duck out of the way, but in your haste to like get into this building, you slam into an old friend.
Oh, great.
So what is their name? Who do we bump into?
Priscilla.
Priscilla.
She is a friend of my mother's.
Oh, okay. So you hear this shrill, Adelaide? Is that you?
No?
Oh my god!
I'll turn around and look at her. Oh, hi. How are you?
Where have you been? It's been so long.
Oh, yeah. It's been forever.
Did you really kill that guy? Like everyone said?
No. That was a horrible rumor that was started to mess up my reputation here in town.
I knew it. I told him when I heard that there's no way Adelaide could kill anybody because she's so sweet.
Yeah.
William.
Yep. Nope. That's not how that happened.
You're gonna be at the party tonight, right?
Oh, who's throwing a party tonight?
It's the Samson Keys party. We go every time.
Oh,
This is the
right.
greatest old lady I've ever heard.
Right, the key party.
Not a key party, a keys party.
Sorry, the keys
Key
party.
parties are very different.
That yeah. You know, I
Not
was
a lot
thinking.
of people have keys on their carriage, so very fancy party.
You know, I was thinking I was gonna skip the party. I just got back to town, and
No,
Wait, party?
I haven't even been to see mom, and they don't know I'm here, so maybe don't mention it so I can make it a surprise.
You'll surprise them at the party?
Sure.
I'll tell them.
No, don't tell them. It'll ruin the surprise that I'm back.
Okay, I'll tell everyone else.
No, you know what? Why don't you tell anyone and let everyone be surprised?
You don't want anyone to. Okay, you arrive, and she like gives you whatever time would be fashionably late.
Yeah.
She's like, I'll prepare your entrance. It will be the grandest surprise.
That's great. Hey, so about that whole people think I killed someone thing.
Yes.
How did that all kind of land?
Well, a lot of people think you did it.
Would you mind maybe spreading a counter rumor to that?
Well, I've told everyone who said it that there's no way that Adelaide could have killed anybody.
Awesome. Great. Thanks for your help on that.
Yes, of course. I missed you.
Me too.
You look good.
Thanks. Oh, that's very sweet. Thank you.
Don't I look good too?
You look fantastic, Priscilla. I am so sorry. I am so thrown
You've
off
been
that
away
I
so
ran
long,
into
you've
you.
forgotten the formalities.
I am very sorry, and I give her like a little bow, and I said, "I am so sorry. You're correct. Like whatever the formal greeting is supposed to be."
It's a lot of winking.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah. So I give her the formal pleasantries that I was taught as a young girl in finishing school, and then I ask, so how is mother?
She's well. The business suffered after the rumors started,
I'm sure that wasn't great for business.
but they're holding up.
That's good. It's real good.
Yes.
Yeah. What about father?
Oh. What was father's temperament like normally?
I was his pride and joy until I disappointed him by running off to
Murder someone.
be a
Be a
magician's assistant. Yeah,
Well,
when I left the high society.
you know how he can be. He's only gotten harsher on the arts since.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He blames them for everything, I tell you.
Yeah, sure.
But oh goodness. And she like looks down and she's got like a bunch of fruits or something in a basket. She's like, I've forgotten my duties. I have to go.
I'm sorry. Where is the Keys party tonight?
And the Keys Palace, of course.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, sometimes they do it on the promenade. Sometimes it's in the gardens.
It's always been in the palace, girl.
Okay, well, I haven't been to a party here in
Oh, they'll be
years.
so excited. I remember when you and that magician would do your stunts. The crowd went wild. Everyone loved it.
Yeah, thank you. That's very very sweet of
Yes.
you. Will you be making your little tartlet things that you used to make when I was a child?
Of course.
Oh, wonderful. That's great.
I mean,
Again, don't tell anybody I'm here so that we don't
right,
ruin the
tell
surprise.
everyone. And
No,
then she
don't
like starts to walk
tell
away.
Oh shit. Oh god. Is the slaver guy like staring at me?
Yes. I think the slaver guy is trying to figure. He's like having an argument in his head about how he's going to explain that he lost these three animal folk.
Yeah.
To whatever boss is his boss. So he's currently like pacing and yelling at no one.
Awesome. Is there like a back room behind him?
Like into the place.
Yeah, like in deeper.
Yeah, they would have an office area.
But he's distracted, right?
Oh yeah, he's pretty well distracted.
Okay. I cast invisibility on myself.
Okay. So you disappear.
Yeah.
And what's up with Forrest and William? What do you guys do?
I'm watching with interest. I'm very excited to go to a party at the palace.
Oh.
We're gonna have to clean ourselves up.
Yeah. You're gonna have to get a mud bath.
Get real caked in mud. It's looking slick and shiny. Let it all dry.
I guess Forrest is probably just keeping his eye on Bufo to see if everything, went okay. And then he notices that Adelaide is gone, so he's kind of a little lost because I have no idea. I don't know what happened. I'm now lost in the middle of the street because
He's now forced to look at something that isn't her.
Yeah. I was following her and then she disappeared. Damn it. All right. So what are you doing, invisible Adelaide?
I want to slip into the back room
Okay.
and see if there are any more imprisoned people back there.
Okay. It does not look like there's anyone imprisoned in the back room, but there are some I guess you would call cells, like with beds and things like that back there.
Yeah.
But it looks like there's like 3 cells back there. So probably today's stock have been let free.
Right. Okay.
But there are actually, do you want well, what are you looking for other than trying to free more people?
I'm trying to figure out how I can screw up their ability to hold any more people here. So
Fire.
I was thinking about setting a
You're just gonna burn down this building?
small controlled fire.
You're pretty sure that any fire left unattended is going to destroy the market.
The
like-
whole market?
Like it's if a fire began raging, the bazaar is not the best place to have an
Yeah,
unrestrained
that's-
fire.
That's probably
Um,
not a great idea.
It is certainly not up to code.
Yeah.
No,
There
no.
there are some things in place to sort of deal with like, oh, a fire has broken out, because that's gonna happen. but you're gonna lose more than just this building, unless you sit here and like purposefully destroy things and contain the flame.
Okay, so here's what I want to do. I want to, as like quickly and quietly as I can, pull out some herbs and some trinkets out of my bag
Mhm.
and mix together kind of a warding powder type thing,
Sure.
and do a ritual on the threshold of each one of the cages that makes it so no one can cross the threshold.
Okay. So
No matter how hard they try, they just can't shove someone in there.
right. So you know that in order to do a ritual, you require a place of power.
Right.
So you reach out your senses for the barrier to find a place where the barrier is thin,
Mhm.
and you do notice that the strength, because what's the name? The Kelsang Palace has always been a place of power, but
Mhm.
it seems much stronger now since you've left.
Oh. Okay.
And so you think you could draw on that power
Okay.
to try to do your ritual.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me pull up ritual. Ritual. All right. So, and then you want to ward a thing. This doesn't. Yeah, I don't think this is going to take a whole lot of extra stuff. Like you've got the thing.
You could also ritual contained fire. Just a pillar of flame come from the sky and make this place not exist anymore.
So you
Pillar of flame ritual.
mind if I look at your character sheet?
Yeah.
Do you have like arcane reagents or anything like that?
Only there was a place within a stone's throw that we could literally buy any.
I think you're gonna need like some ritual components.
Yeah.
So you might have to like go track those down, like snag some sage and
Eye of Newt.
some like some variable ritual components.
Okay.
To pull off your little ritual.
Then I will leave and go rejoin the group.
Okay.
And I will just kind of like move up next to Bufo and whisper in his ear, I need your handiwork.
That gets my attention. I turn to her and I say, "Oh, what is it that you need?"
Well, I want to do some damage over at the slavers, so I'm gonna need some sage, some rosemary, and
parsley, thyme. You know, the standard ritual magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Standard cooking ingredients.
And making a good stew. But yeah, I give you like a list of herbs that I need. And I'm like, I need these, and then we'll be able to screw up with their business plan a little bit.
Okay. Is this maybe something that I could steal from the slavers themselves, rather than just, some farmer plying their wares?
Right. Yeah. Go. You know what? Why don't you look around the market a bit?
Okay.
I think that's discern realities.
I will discern realities in that case.
So yeah, I pop up back near you, Forrest.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, where the hell were you?
All right. So I think it's
I'll
what here is
explain
useful or
later.
valuable to me. That makes sense.
Yeah. What here is useful or valuable to me?
So you definitely can find you can find a wave breaker sort of like materials shop. So someone who like it's the same
like they
the same
have
family.
like some coat of arms or something
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
indicates that this is part of that clan.
Yeah, that it's part of their business.
Okay.
And so you can easily find a wave breaker reagents
Just like a tent.
little store. Yeah, I think there's probably like a little bit of a building, right? Like there's I think all of these have like just enough of a building where they could lock stuff up and leave it here.
Okay.
But then like there's tents and things that sort of come out from it into the street. So
Okay.
there's like a lot of people milling about and going through, and there will be like another human woman standing there, sort of.
So I'm
taking-
gonna need somebody to help me on this one because the best way to do this, since if it were a tent, I could probably try to sneak underneath the back of it. But since it's a building, I'll probably have to go in and then have somebody. I'll need to clock the components and then have somebody cause a distraction. They don't need to like really make it crazy. They just need to engage the
crowd. Wow, I think we might just have someone for that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think we
but
may
I
have
thought-
a tool for that job.
I thought I got to punch somebody in the face.
So yeah, I'm going to just regale the people in about some exciting story.
Okay, so you like start busking outside of the sure that'll do it.
Yeah, that'll get everybody's attention.
So I'll go into the store before Wonderful William begins his patter,
Okay.
so that I'm already there.
Oh, don't worry, you'll have plenty of time.
Okay.
He's very
You
long-winded.
can command a crowd. So, are you planning on using your arcane art?
I'm going to
that
use
when
arcane
you
art
aid him,
on
he
this
gets the
one.
+2.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So we got a 9 on an arcane art. Still works, but you draw.
Oh, you draw
attention.
unwanted attention? I don't even.
Reverberates to other targets.
there a
affecting
difference
them.
in the
Yeah, I was gonna say
Only once?
what attention is unwanted for Wonderful William?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think there
know
is
that
an
unwanted attention makes sense here, but I think your magic can reverberate to others. So
Hmm.
I think
Too inspiring.
yeah, I think there's gonna be like the guards and everyone else is gonna also be kind of inspired by this, and so they're gonna also be a little more attentive going forward. So maybe that'll be like a future problem that you guys have to deal with.
Okay. We're noticeable now.
Yeah. The everyone is now paying attention, and they're gonna remember that hat.
I'm sure that won't come back.
That sounds like a win-win to me.
Yeah, they're gonna remember that snake hat.
You think it's a negative? I don't understand.
So what does Wonderful William say to the crowd?
Well, of course, I need to introduce a brand new city to the duly appointed representative of Endona.
Mm.
And and also use this opportunity to maybe interest some people in some actual blood from the goddess herself,
Right.
of which I have a crate.
Yes.
Okay. So
I'm
you're-
imagining the barber from Sweeney Todd selling his vials of piss.
right. I think the lady who owns the shop or who mans the shop, she plays the Sweeney in that. She's the one walking up. This is piss with ink. Like so because she's mad because you're in front of her magic shop and like spouting that you can sell a cure-all. And so now
It's not
she
a
is-
cure-all. I'm just saying, have your very own blood of Endona.
Blood of Andona, yeah.
Helps with any prayer service.
Yeah. So she seems visibly like frustrated by you, but also extremely distracted. So
Great.
so yeah, so you're gonna have a +2 to your action there.
Rock and roll. So I just click on it for is this tricks of the trade?
Let's
I think
see.
that says
you know what?
pick.
You might not even have to roll to steal with.
Okay.
'Cause that's like something your character would do. You've got help. Where's your sheet?
Yeah, I have +2 help, and I have +2 on Dex, and so I'm at the
Tricks of
maximum.
the trade. Tricks of the trade is a move. So whenever you pick locks, you do some stuff. So yes, you can click tricks of the trade.
Okay.
We can roll there.
Well, but I got that +2, so that's a 7.
You got that +2. Yeah, so that's a 7. All right. So you managed to get the things that she asked for, but the quantities are all off. So you're like they're bundled in these large bundles, and so like you have to quickly grab these large bundles, and so you've stuffed them all in your cloak with all its pockets, but the bundles are kind of big, and they're not really. These items aren't super valuable on their own unless they're being used in ritual or like a nice stew. And so you end up with like way too much stuff. So you're just like, look,
I like walked in just like
you got like a Christmas ham under one side. Yeah.
Once again,
Like
if only we had a
pretending to be-
solution to that problem, like a bag that holds anything.
Everything.
Yeah, because you didn't hand it to him.
Didn't give it to me.
Yeah, but I'll get it. It'll get to him eventually, or it'll get it to me.
I have to ask, and I realize it's a little late, but what happens to Forrest when every time William inspires? I have to assume I'm not immune to that.
Oh, like you're saying that you
Get drawn
normally
into the
hate
story?
William, but like every once in a while you get really impressed.
My character's not the brightest guy in the world. I just have to assume that when he inspires and guards and random people are being inspired to like guard hard.
Well-
Guard hard.
Guard hard.
Coming
this
summer, guard hard.
I was gonna wait until they were done with what they were doing, but I was gonna say I was having a conversation with you while they were stealing our stuff, so you're probably pretty distracted this time around.
Okay, that'll work.
Okay. So what conversation are you having while Bufo is robbing the shop?
Isn't William amazing? I know,
So-
right?
You're looking over his shoulder, you see Bufo back there, and you're like, that is way too much, Bufo. He's just got whole branches worth of stuff just
God.
filling up
I'm-
his pockets, like sticking out. He just looks like
He's got
I
the
am-
whole cart. He's just pushing a cart.
I am so excited because I'm putting all that on my character sheet, and then anytime I need a ritual, I'll be like, no, I've got Bufo's supply. Okay, so
It's Bufo time.
it is Bufo
She's gonna.
time.
Bufo
She would
time.
have to. She would have to be like 6'4" to be able to see over my shoulder. Just FYI, I must be at my knees.
Right. So I would, while they're gone, I would pull you aside, and so I know I didn't really warn you about this, and I feel like maybe I should have said something before we left the ship, the boat.
I'm
But
famous.
I'm kind of in trouble here. This is the town. This is the city that I'm from, and my family lives here. And they're kind of what you would call stuck up. I kind of come from higher class. I decided that wasn't for me, but last time I was here, I kind of killed somebody,
Nice.
and yeah, it's not though. I mean,
Only one?
I'm probably gonna be in trouble if we go see my family, or if the guards see me, or
Well, what
I'm
kind
kinda-
of trouble?
I mean, I don't know if they're gonna arrest me. I don't know if I don't know what's gonna happen, but I thought you should probably know. That's why I don't want you starting anything, because I'm kind of wanted here. At least I think I might be. I don't know. The person I killed was a bad guy. He was gonna hurt a lot of people, and it was important that he not do his plan, but nobody knows that. So the only thing people know is that I killed somebody, and He just kind of happened to be my boyfriend. So it doesn't look good.
Okay.
But I just thought you should know in case things go sideways.
Yeah. That's huge.
William
I-
knows. William knows because he found me that night after everything happened. That's actually kind of how we met. He's kind of been keeping that secret for me for a long time, but I thought you should know.
I honestly have no idea what to say.
That's okay. I think Bufo's waddling over here.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right.
Sprigs of rosemary sticking out of my shirt
Yeah.
through my hood.
Well, that seems like a great place to take 5. If you guys want to take a quick break.
Yep.
Sure.
Do we have? Are we prepared to take a break? Oh, producer.
I don't know if he's still around. Oh, yep,
Yeah,
he's still
he's-
around.
yeah,
Yep,
okay.
All right.
he is prepared.
Okay,
All right,
so
5
we
minutes?
will be back in 5 minutes. Quick drink and bio, and thank you. Don't go away.
We'll be right back.
Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-da-da-da-dum.
Nice.
I do not have a camera from my Matt at all now. Whatever he did, it fucked up the microphone. Or it fucked up the cam. Yeah, and it's hosed now. So, yeah. Told you not to mess with it. There we go. All right, it's working now. Three, 2, 1, go.
And we're back. Thank you for waiting, everybody. So I think this would be a good time for maybe like a little bit of a time jump, or maybe a montage through some of the middle of the day. The rituals don't really require a roll, so maybe just tell me what it looks like for your ritual.
I think it just kind of, for a second as I activate it, just kind of you see like a little spark of light, and then it goes away, and then the ritual components just kind of blend into the dirt of the ground.
Very cool. So now it's just warded, so no one can like get through those.
Yep, they can beat on it as long as they want, and they can't get in there.
All right.
So it's
No
like
more
a force
shove-
field.
Yeah, like no more shoving people in these cages.
Can you walk in of your own accord? Like does when
I think I
the
just set it
guards
up that-
try to like.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing. But no, I think I just set it up like no one can go in there. Like
Okay.
just very simple, very like
Mhm.
not a lot to it. That way it was a simple ritual that would last for a long time.
That would be funny if you could only go in if you wanted to go in.
Well, but the problem is these people, some of them don't understand what they're agreeing to. So they could be trying to go in willingly and not understanding what they're agreeing to.
Mhm.
And so I think it's just better if no one can go in. Then they can't even choose to go in if they want to.
That's why I would have went with something a little more subtle, such as a curse in which any transaction they make is inherently unprofitable for them.
Then
Well,
they
there
just
you go.
get more
That's-
brutal trying to
Mhm.
get some sort of profit out of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why do we keep losing money?
Oh, our
Um,
slaves are too happy. That's the problem.
Yeah, we gotta.
Screwing up the slave trade.
So what's everyone else do for like what's your montage for the rest of the day until like that evening when Adelaide is supposed to be at a party?
I take a bath at the Silver Moon. Is that what it is? Silver Moon
The
Inn?
Silver Star.
Silver Star. I knew it was something in the sky. The Silver Star Inn, which is funny because I'm the one that named it and I can't even remember it. But yeah, so I get a room at the Silver Star Inn, take a bath, get my clothes cleaned up, and try to make myself presentable for court.
Well, I go and use the profits from selling my blood of Andona to buy some fancy palace worthy clothings.
Mm.
You know, it's
What do we think the style is here? Like, what's the noble style in this town?
Well, it's probably pretty hot here, so obviously they force the women to wear lots of layers. No, just kidding. No, it's really hot here. We're in the middle of the desert, so it's probably very light, thin, like gauzy material. Everything's got shiny bangles and things on it to make it look, as expensive as possible. Probably the brighter the colors you wear, the more money you have, the more, the less you look like a peasant and the sand around us. So very brightly colored clothes.
Okay.
I would like to procure. Oh, go ahead.
No, that's fine.
I would like to procure a jester's outfit because I'm trying to think of what would be appropriate for a toad person to be walking around in this like fancy elf ball.
Oh, we're gonna need something for Forrest too. What do the servants wear?
Let's see. The servants. You know what? I bet the servants.
I'm sure you could serve drinks or something.
Um,
No,
yeah,
no,
that's a
I'm-
great job for me.
I-
You want a
I know
drink?
what the servants-
This is trash. Boom!
I would probably try to get something for you to wear that makes you look like my personal guard, like my personal bodyguard, so that you could keep your weapons on you, so that you could be the tough looking guy that you are. And also it would be completely appropriate that you would have to stay with me at all times because you're my personal guard.
So
Does your,
no more-
does your house have like particular colors or something that would indicate that he worked for you?
That is a very good question. Probably
Frilly
like,
pink.
right? Probably like purples, like deep purples.
I'll get my jester's outfit in those same colors.
Very
I was
cool.
just gonna wear my loincloth and my leather shoulder.
So I think.
Yeah,
think they
except it's a
have-
purple loincloth now and like a purple sash
Yeah.
thing.
I think they
Okay.
have. It's those like the like genie pants.
Oh
Like
yeah.
where they
Oh,
balloon out.
Harem pants.
Harem pants.
Yes.
Yes. So, but like, so he's wearing these harem pants.
What are
And,
wait?
and
What
then
are
like
harem
his
pants?
whatever, like no top, and he's
You
got
know
his shoulder
the
armor.
puffy pants the genies wear?
Like MC Hammer.
Oh yes.
Yeah, like parachute pants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
parachute pants.
Okay. Yeah.
But like in that like silky or
Do we have him
Coffee
dressed up like Kazam?
yes,
Yep.
A
Yeah.
brocaded vest.
Yes.
It's just like no shirt underneath.
mm-hmm.
And then your big old gauntlets.
Yeah.
Your gauntlet hands.
They just like wrap some ribbon around the
yeah. Tie a
Yeah.
ribbon
steel
around the.
fists, so it looks
Yeah.
like the genie chains.
Yeah, exactly.
All
What
right,
does your hat
cool.
look like, William?
Forrest is big, right? He's a really big guy.
Yeah, he's like a big barbarian looking dude.
Okay.
What does your hat look like,
I
William?
think I'm going to keep the snake for now. I think that's.
What? You're not trying to like top the local tradition?
I think this is topping the local. I've already been here. I've seen their traditions.
That is
Oh
true.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Like no one's seen a snake turban.
Yeah.
That's true. He's now going to be the new hotness.
yeah.
Everyone's going to be like, oh, I got to get me one of those snake turbans.
Yeah, snake turban is starting out pretty extra already. So
Yeah, snake
just
skin
roll with
turban
it.
is.
No,
That's
not
pretty-
snake
Yep.
skin.
No,
It
no,
is
an actual snake.
An actual snake.
Yeah, snake turban.
Cool.
Okay, so how does everyone how do we roll up? Like, what does the entrance look like? Do you show up fashionably late? Do you arrive early?
Definitely fashionably late. I would have tried and attempted to and failed to teach Forrest how to be courtly, like
And
how to act appropriate and to his betters, which probably completely failed.
Mhm.
For
Like,
sure.
I don't get why.
Well, I've been trying to teach him that for years, and not sticking. So
Yeah, I'm using the words like you need to respect these people, and you're like only if they win a fight against me or something. Like
yeah.
you're like screw that.
Do you have to earn my respect?
Yeah, but definitely fashionably late. And yeah, I mean we probably walked there. We don't really have like a cart or
Yeah.
anything.
So the way the palace district is laid out, you can't really get there unless you're supposed to be there,
Right.
except for this party. This family is sort of the open mic night for hobnobbing with the nobles. So because they love entertainment, they love new faces, so they basically let entertainers come in, they let young families come in that are just starting out to see if they can hack it. And then if you make an impression, you can get an invite to the next party, and it goes that way until you make it to the main palace. And sort of, I guess,
single elimination.
yeah. Adelaide would kind of understand the way that the politics of this world work. all big trade deals need to be ratified by one of the what's their names? Need to be ratified by one of Reyna Kelsang's scribes. So the deals are made in these parties, but they're official when they get to the big party.
I'm wondering if there's some way we can work our way to Reyna to try and stop the slaving that's happening. What do you think, Bufo?
Yes, for sure.
I mean, do you want to come up with some kind of like working contract so these people aren't slaves? They're actually like working for these people that Reyna has to approve, or are we just going to warn her of what's happening in the...
Guys, you're being way too direct about this. They don't play that game. You just need to make the family fall out of favor.
Yeah, that would actually work. Well,
the Way Striders?
Wave
Riders.
Wave Breakers.
Wave Breakers,
Right.
there you go.
Wave
Wave
breakers.
Breakers.
Jeez, you didn't even bother to learn their name.
Yeah, like if we can
A lot of new names today.
somehow get...
Yeah,
Reyna
I'm chaotic good as opposed to lawful good. So I think rather than making another law and hope that other people are going to abide by it, I would probably try to undermine the institution because slavery is already illegal.
Yeah.
There is some other law that was created, or maybe it's just the power of this family that keeps it legal to have indentured servants. So I want to undermine that institution. So if we were to undermine the respectability of the family that supports the institution of indentured servitude, then that would probably go a very long way to undermine the institution itself.
Right.
Now,
So, I mean, step one is get through this first party, though.
Yeah.
Now, question is Adelaide's family an actual noble family, or are they like a tier below? Or
We are not a noble family, but we are definitely, I mean, elves are rare and they're seen as the higher class people. So we are part of the Mucky Mucks, but we are not like a ruling family.
It might be more like celebrity, right?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
elves garner a certain amount of respect just by the fact that there aren't very many elves, and they typically are very good at magic.
Yeah. So the Ularis are not necessarily powerful, but they do have influence.
okay,
Like they don't own land necessarily.
Right.
I just
Really good at the
realized,
social part.
spoiler alert, but you guys are literally going to try to Daenerys Targaryen this.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know what's funny? When I was picturing the city, I imagined that scene where she's selling him the dragon, and
Okay, yeah. So we're on the same page here, because it's like this is so that right
That's
now.
funny. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I'm kind of picturing these some of these merchants as those kind of merchants.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
All right.
By the way, can I?
No.
Oh, okay.
go ahead.
What's going on?
Off topic, like out of character here. I just realized for some reason that at some point I should probably do this off stream, but it doesn't matter. We'll do it live. My character is only just now coming to the realization that Adelaide is I'm close to, huh?
Nothing.
Shut up.
Go on.
He's just talking shit. Keep going.
I'm close to who is basically an attractive female elf
Yeah.
Yes.
wearing skimpy clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm a dude that's just like obviously attracted. Why am I not attracted to her?
That's
just
You just said you are.
yeah.
No,
yeah.
He's wondering why it's not being reciprocated.
Yeah, why is my character not caught on to this? Probably because I'm an idiot. Okay,
Yeah.
but anyways, let's go back.
Sure. Yeah.
That's okay, guys. This is what it looks like to be a new role player who is figuring out in-character feelings and coming to terms with them out
Yeah.
of character. And that's
Yes.
okay. That's okay, guys.
It's all part of the journey.
It's all part of the journey. I mean,
Your fun is
this-
wrong, is what we're
this-
really getting.
This is Pandor's third RPG game session ever.
Fourth.
Fourth? Well, he
No,
missed
fifth. He missed one game, but he did do the other game, didn't he?
Okay.
Well-
So yes, so 4 still.
Yeah.
4 whole RPGs that you have played. So you gotta come to terms with those feelings.
So Handor,
Yeah.
maybe since you're trying to figure out how Forrest would understand feelings, maybe this is his Adelaide coming down the stairs moment, right? Where she's
Right.
in her courtly gear and she's looking very different because usually she's wearing her adventure gear. So maybe this is the moment when Forrest notices what's going on there, and so you can put that into your RP in this scene at the party.
Yeah, I gotta figure that out.
Okay. So
So wait, so what is our plan when we get into this party? Are we trying to get an audience with the family that runs the indentured servant trade around here, or
Well,
is that our goal?
it sounds like we need to perform so that we can get passed on to the next higher up party so that we can get closer and closer to the people we actually need to talk to.
Okay.
It's because the people that are going to make change aren't going to be at these lower level parties. They're going to be at what's her name's house?
Raina Kelsen.
Raina. They're going to be at Raina's palace. So we don't really even need to talk about what our political plans are. We just need to figure out what we're going to perform in order to get passed up the political.
And that's how you get
Performance.
passed up, is you do a performance.
Yeah. Unless you're already high class, but I mean,
Or prove that you're useful to these nobles in some way.
right. So I mean, we just have to find some way to have them go, hey, you guys are cool. We want to party with you more. And then we get pushed on to the next tier of partying.
And this all happens in one night.
So this party happens tonight, and then if you do well, you get an invitation to the next party.
Right.
Okay.
So then the next party would be a different day.
So we don't have to
Sure.
rush and get through this party to get to the next one. But we definitely have to impress here to get that invite.
I
to
was
the next
just
one.
I was just wondering whether it was like going to a concert or something, and it's
Right.
like you want to get up to the front, and then you want to get
Right.
backstage, and then you want to get in the green room, and then you want to get into the after
Right.
party. Didn't know if it
Right.
was that, or if it was like there's a tournament of champions over the course of several months of
Mm.
increasingly cool parties.
I think it
Right.
probably takes most people a long time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
But
but we're not
as
most
big damn
people.
heroes,
So I mean, I still know my act from when I was doing the magician's assistant thing. So if somebody wants to be a magician, I can do I can make the magic happen while you pretend it's you. William, you could try to spout some poetry or tell stories.
Oh yeah, it's all kinds of good stuff.
I mean, so we just got to figure out what our act is going to be to get us pushed along.
I believe
What-
it was said earlier. We'll do it live.
What's the Amiran foundational mythology? Like Rome has Romulus and Remus and the she-wolf, right? So what is what performance or what cultural story could we draw from to create a performance?
for the Amirian people.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Wouldn't that be almost this is obviously Mike Forrest doesn't realize this, but wouldn't that be incredibly insulting too if you were not from the
No,
Well,
it's,
she
it's,
is.
it's all about how you present it. If you
you're-
regale a tale of the city from a perspective of them being the heroes in any of their
Right. Well, that and
Yeah.
I am from here, so it's not exactly a
Yeah.
cultural appropriation because I'm
Yeah.
part of it. But I mean, we do have the story of
Well,
how the magical plane and our world got separated from each other, and how those rifts are the cracks between the two sides trying to bring the two worlds, the two planes back together again. That's what the rifts are. So that's kind of like, we don't have, like, at least the elves that kind of control the city don't have necessarily like a religious view, but they do see that the plane of magic being cut off from the world as like this cataclysmic event where we got separated from our magics,
Right.
and so those rifts are our connection to it.
So the Amirans, maybe there's like a Cain and Abel, right? Like the toads are one and the frog folk are the other.
Well, but they wouldn't know about the frogs versus the toads, right? In this city, I don't think anybody would give a shit about that.
No, yeah, they probably don't know about that. But you're
William could regale the crowd with the story of how you became the last champion of your people. That would be unique, a story that they've never heard before.
Well, and keep in mind though, this was a city that I left because of Adelaide. I wasn't ran out of the city, so I'm still
Right.
Probably and well regarded.
Mhm.
Right.
It's been a couple years, but
Yeah.
you know,
So you're
I
a
didn't.
turning hero.
Yeah, well, I wasn't run out of town when they realized it was all snake oil.
Right.
You managed to leave on your own?
Well, yeah, I left up because of her rather than being encouraged to leave. In the middle of the night.
Right.
Okay.
So maybe this has created a sensation that you've come back, and everyone wants to hear the tale of your adventures
Oh
abroad. And so you've been working on that ever since it happened. So
Mhm.
Yeah,
so maybe
There's-
that's
There's the tale of the Serpent's Palace. I mean, or Serpent's Temple. No one's heard that story yet.
you test. What you do is you test out your epic that you're writing about Bufo. Yeah, you test it out on the crowd.
Because he's there. You can point at him
Yeah.
and say, like, this is Bufo the Great.
Yeah,
I think our performance is all of these things, right?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's
It's a mix, right? It's
we are, we are chock-a-block with interesting diversions
Here we
and
go.
And if some of their
Surprises.
silverware and priceless jewels happen to go missing while we're at it, it's a big party. It happens.
It's called breakage.
Spoons go missing all the time.
Spoons go missing. Oh my god, our spoons. I don't know what's going on. So I love that. That's perfect. So what as you guys are coming up to the palace, the entertainment, what was the name of the people for this palace? This is
The keys, right?
Samton Keese owns this palace. So what are some of the sights as you approach? Like some of the people arriving, because there's a lot of entertainers showing up, ready to do their shtick. What are some things that we see as we approach?
I would say exotic animals. Like performers walking up with very exotic animals, like on a collar, walking in with them. They're going to do some, whatever circus act with an animal, but it's exotic animals that we wouldn't see in this part of the world.
So like a deer.
Yeah. Or a bear.
or a bear.
A bear wouldn't be.
The basically all of the entrances are pretty heavily guarded, but they're not allowed to be dressed in guard. Like even the guards are hobnobbed up.
Oh, okay.
Fancy guards.
Yeah.
So all the guards in this city are sort of they're owned by their merchant family.
Mhm.
So but they're all supplied by the wave breakers. Like that is their trade is running a mercenary guild. And so all the ones that they hire to be here have to be like pretty, right? Like they have to be like the good looking guards. And they're all in these like obnoxious costumes.
Yeah.
Forrest, do you recognize any of these guards as you're walking up?
No.
Like,
I
do we
think-
get anyone that you fought with as a kid or something like that?
Oh, that's a good. Yeah, I would say. Well, no. We'll say that one of them is known for like he has a pretty face, but he has like a he's like he's got a handsome scar or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chicks dig scars.
Yeah, and he's known for this, and that's actually his nickname is
Handsome Scar.
Is something to the effect.
Not
yeah.
in the face. Not in the face, Sachi.
yeah. And so he's known for this, being and he's I know him from where I was at, and that's where he got his scar.
Mhm.
But then he got picked up by like a richer family and left. And
So he got moved up into the actual mercenary guild, whereas
Yeah.
you were still in the.
The fighting pits.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a name in mind, or you want me to come up with something?
His name is oh shoot, hang on.
List of names.
His name is Varen Gray.
Varen Gray.
Yep.
It's a good mercenary name, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Like,
It
pulled it
is.
out.
It's
Pulled it
pretty
out.
good. It's pretty
Okay. Varen Gray, the mercenary. Not in the face, Varen.
good.
All right. What else do we see coming up to this fancy party?
There's a troupe of musicians that have these almost mechanical looking like bassoons and trumpets and things. And as they play, it actually shapes this billowing smoke that's coming out of this small like hot pot fire in the center of them. And it's sort of like a medieval holophoner idea.
Yeah.
So they're all like working together, and as their music interweaves with one another, like all the melodies shape the smoke, and it transitions into these different scenes. And they're pretty, because there's no dialogue to it, and these are smoke shapes. It's not the most sophisticated story, I guess. These would all be kind of larger than life heroic figures and gods and monsters and things that the average person would recognize.
Mm-hmm.
Geez, showboater.
Cool. Okay. All right. So we've got the fabulous Smoke Jazz Band.
Yeah, the actually, let's see. What is
So what are we doing? We're walking towards this party then, huh?
So yes, you guys are
Yeah.
walking up. There's like people coming in. There's musicians outside who are like waiting their turn to enter. Probably also outside so they can entertain the nobles as they arrive.
Okay.
they're called the Sang Puja,
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
the name of the band.
So what I'll say is what happened is Adelaide helped me get ready and
Yeah.
forced me to basically wash myself. And then as like the whole prom coming down the stairs, I see her. This is a, what do you call that? When
Flashback.
this is a flashback, right? So what happened was I basically realized like I'm in love with this girl because
Okay.
she's a girl and
And I'm nice to you.
Forrest loves women. So we're walking, so now we're to the point where when she came down, I kept telling her, let me carry you, let me just carry you, and she's like, well, leave me alone. And then and she's trying to teach me to like be normal. And as we're walking towards this as we're walking towards this, I keep like putting my hand on her and like holding her. She's like, no.
Yeah, I would definitely be like, stop touching the dress. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, it's like, come on. I gotta look. You're messing up the look here. Yeah. So yeah, definitely. But it like as we get closer to the door and it's time for us to like go in and we need to look appropriate, I would like move in next to William because he looks the most formal because it looks like our jester and our guard and then William and I. And so I would slide in next to William and like put my arm in his arm as if he was, you know, taking me over the threshold kind of thing. So that we look like an official, you know, hobnobbing pack of whatever.
Okay.
To make it look right.
Yeah. So I think this palace is several sort of like landing areas with like little garden walls, so that little performances can be happening throughout the palace. And as you move through the main thoroughfare, you come up to the big, like the grand ballroom, and there are some guards there, and that's where we see not in the face Varen sort of like steps up, and he's like, "Your name?"
Adelaide Ulari.
"And you, sir?"
They're with me.
The wonderful William.
"And the wonderful William is with you."
Yes.
Okay.
And this is my entourage.
Very well. I was
Varen, Gray! It's you!
He like looks you over real close, and he's Ford?
I show him the gauntlet.
You were like a little kid last time I saw you.
Well,
I mean,
little. I guess I was smaller. Yeah.
I was never a child.
Do we get like a
Yeah.
like an interesting arm bump thing?
Oh,
Like
for
a-
sure. Yeah.
Like a weird handshake because you can't shake hands because you got these gauntlets.
Yeah.
Is there, like-
Absolutely.
Like a couple forearm bumps or something like that.
yeah. No, we just we butt our heads together.
Oh, okay. And he goes, "Not in the face."
yeah.
Suddenly everything makes sense. Your greeting
Yeah.
is headbutting people.
And he's not in the face, Varen. He goes, when did you get into the guard business?"
Guard business. What are you talking?
No. Just picked it up. Just picked it up.
20 minutes ago.
Well, he looks back to Adelaide and he's like, "Well, you got yourself a fine guard there. I'll
He's worth every penny. I kind of glance at him like, knock it off.
he turns and he there's like a I forget what the name of the person is who announces people. There's an
A
announcer.
herald?
A
A
crier.
herald. Yeah. So he comes up and he's like dressed like really pompous. And he like gets a whisper from Varen. And he turns and like steps right in front of you and then says, "This way," and like does an about and starts walking into the palace.
All right, guys, on your best behavior here.
So we get this like I think we get this circle shot of the whole palace where there's like a main dance floor with obviously people whose specialty is dancing, and then nobles who are just trying to keep up with these like professional dancers. And then around the edges are all of these like pillow tables areas, right? Just like full of pillows and little tables for drinks and things to be on. And they're just these sections. And the closer they get to the like towards the stage, the nicer they get, and like the more prominent everyone looks. And then we pan up on the stage, and there's some band playing like really bad music, but like playing it well, but like the music of course is written poorly. Like the lyrics are bad, but the instruments are good. And so everyone's sort of like not paying attention to the band right now. And the herald or the court announcer walks in, and he like bangs a doom doom. Lady Adelaide Ulare and guests,
The wonderful William.
and her esteemed guest, the wonderful William. And there's like some some heads whip around at the couple of names, and you see some recognition. A few people stop dancing and like start to make their way so that you guys can move into the room.
How is
Nice.
this going to bold for her cover?
Well, I mean, Priscilla's a big mouth. They're gonna know I'm here already. So as I make my way down the stairs, I would definitely be scanning the room, looking for my parents.
Okay. You can find them. They're closer to the door. And in fact, I think you see your mother rushing over. When that's the first thing you see when you scan for your parents, is your mother rushing towards you.
Okay.
And as you reach the bottom of the stairs, she sort of gets up to you and she says, What are you doing back?
So I
How are you?
I keep very straight backed and make sure I keep my composure.
You've returned. And then she like grabs your hand and starts like pulling you over towards like a quiet area.
And I say, Mother, I'd like to introduce you to my guests. Serena Ulari. This is the wonderful William.
Oh,
the bard.
Forgive me, my manners. She like curtsies.
This is Bufo, the brave.
Hi.
Ribbit.
Hello.
And Forrest, my personal guard.
If she curtsies, I'd headbutt her.
I definitely put a hand on you.
She
As you start to
definitely
move forward, I'm like, mm.
She definitely does not curtsy to a guard.
Okay.
But she sort of nods.
That counts.
She's laid out.
I definitely like, nope.
Okay. Okay.
So you get she sort of camera just went all fuzzy. So she tries to pull you over to a corner. She says, would you excuse us?
Yes. If you guys would like to make yourselves comfortable, I will join you again in a moment. And then I follow my mother, and I try to do it as slowly and not hurriedly. Like I try to make it look very like we're not going to have hushed words and mom's freaking out. It's like, no, this is just like the last time we were at a party. It's fine.
And she says, what nerve do you have coming back here? Do you know what the rumors have done for your father?
Don't you think it's time that I come back and set the story straight about what happened? The only way for you and father to recover from what happened is if I come back and everyone knows exactly what happened. I'm going to say happened as many times as I happen to say.
The Kelsangs will not be pleased with your return. There was never any proof of who did it. But, of course, you fled. You just fled. What happened?
We were attacked.
You were both attacked.
Yes. I was lucky to get away with my life.
Yes, that's a great story. We can use that. You get the sense that she obviously doesn't believe it, but is willing to go with it.
I mean, a mom knows when her kid's lying.
Yeah, that might work. Okay, so who attacked you?
Cloaked figures.
Cloaked figures attacked you. Very well. Okay, so the story is cloaked figures attacked, and you were taken.
I was.
And you managed to escape with the help of your new companions.
Wonderful William saved me.
Oh, yes. How wonderful of him. Fine. I will begin to spread. Yes, this we can make this work. And then she realizes that she hasn't hugged you yet, and she gives you a big hug.
I probably I'm stiff for like a second because I'm not used to that kind of affection anymore.
Physical touch.
Yeah. Like I stay very distant from people. But then I give into the hug.
So cut back over to you three. What are you doing in the party?
Hobnobbing.
Hobnobbing.
Yeah. hyping up I'm here, I'm back. I'm going to tell some amazing stories, and
Oh,
tell your friends.
okay. So people
You're being
start
your
to
own
like,
hype man.
oh,
Yeah.
like someone turns and goes to run over to someone else, and like, did you hear Wonderful Williams here? He's got new stories. So they're like spreading.
I'm introducing myself to everybody, and I'm my way of interacting with people, because I'm a jester, is kind of like a sawed-off Don Rickles. I have a lot of like hacky insult comedy bits,
Yes.
but like Don Rickles style. So like it's amazing. Like he's
Yeah.
it's just like top tier one-liners and things. Yeah, I think that's probably like an Anurian sense of humor. It's
Okay.
very like roasty, and
Yeah.
and the funny part of it is how ridiculously lame the jokes are, but they're just delivered with panache and confidence to where you
Okay.
can't help but laugh.
Yeah. Okay, so you're kind of like making your way through the crowd and just randomly insulting people, and then making everyone near that person laugh.
Yeah, like I'll shake somebody's hand, introduce myself, and then I'll oh man, I should have looked some of these up, like some Joan Rivers type stuff,
Right.
Yeah.
where it's like it starts out as it's a backhanded compliment
Right.
Yeah.
that everybody around would laugh at, and then the person might be mad at first, but then I turn to the person next to them and I do the same thing to them, and now they're laughing, and they
Yeah.
can't
Right.
really be mad at me if they're laughing.
Right. Right. Okay.
So it's all
It's
about
just
like
so
the rapid
funny.
fire. It's the rapid fire, like
Yeah.
you make it so they can't think about it long enough to really be mad at me. And by
Right.
the time they realize that they're the butt of the joke, I've moved on to another target.
Right. Stick and move.
As he's telling one of these jokes, and I'm trying to keep up with everybody and whatever, he tells one of the jokes, and one of them finally gets. I finally understand it. And I go, huh, it's funny because he's ugly.
Oh, nice.
It's awesome. Yeah, that's like the one person that like gets frustrated because like he points it out, and so you can't like get it. He's like, how dare you?
It's
then
funny
you're-
because he's
And
like,
then you're quickly like moving to a new pack of people.
oh, it's so good.
Um,
I would break away from my mother at some point and tell her I need to check in with my friends. And I would make my way over to William
okay.
and find a good moment when he's about to like move from one group of adoring fans to another,
Mhm.
and
They're all
slip
adoring
in,
fans.
right? And just kind of whisper to him, "I was attacked. You saved me."
I have a plan.
Like that's all I said. Like I so that you get like this is what happened, right?
So as you guys are hobnobbing and moving around the room, you get this, you realize where the different houses sit. So like each of the houses has their own like seating area, and the only one there's this house, their like seating area is the second nicest area in the place. The only nicer area is the one intended for the Kelsang
Mhm.
family, the like big people here, but it's empty. So you get the feeling that they probably don't come to these parties very often.
Mhm.
But there are a lot of like at all the other families, they're all there. They've got it's not like the person who runs that family, but there are representatives from those families.
Right.
And they'll periodically run back and forth to each other, and like they'll be having hushed conversations, and then a runner will go back to their table.
Hmm.
So there's like you can see deals happening between these families. So what do you guys?
Well,
How does Wonderful William take the room?
Well, as soon as there's a break from the most recent performance, I don't bother waiting in line because who are they?
Yeah. Yeah.
I call upon the room and I announce myself, and it's like, nobles and ladies, I have been around, had many adventures, and here I am to regale you with many stories. So my first of which, though, is a story of the heroics of this particular city and all the noble families and every, all their greatness. But I make a point that for all the noble families, everything that they've accomplished, I upplay, and it's everything they've done is by courage and fortitude and just being awesome. Everything that the Wavebreakers have accomplished is through luck and just accidentally stumbling into it.
Okay.
Nice.
And from there I move on to the story of the last time I was in town and why I disappeared so suddenly. I had found out that they what was your target's name?
My target's name?
Yes.
Rain?
Oh God, I don't know if I ever actually named my.
Oh.
Let me hold on. I'm so sorry. I have to go back and look.
Do you have that, or do you need a name?
No, I've got it right here. It just.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think. Did I ever give you a name? Because I didn't.
I don't think I ever heard of a name. You can come up with one, but for now, I had discovered that Kristoff had become involved in the seedier elements of the Wave Riders, and they had opted to, some politicking. There's, the lesser cousin or brother or the black sheep of the family might have been involved with a bad deal that it basically ended with him being attacked in the night. And Adelaide, in the process, was stolen away. And luckily, I discovered their trails long out of town and was able to save her. And we went on adventures. Then I continue on with how I became the duly appointed representative of Endona, saving the world not once but like 3 times.
This is the first time I've ever heard this story and went, he can have it.
You're like,
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, fine.
Telling the story of the Snake Temple, and then ending with the heroic story of our own Bufo the Brave, with the edits that I made earlier.
So right.
Of how he was able to spare the person who killed his own mother because he was, even though he tried to attack him and let him go.
And then I'm like, that is a better story.
Okay. So is anyone like jumping up and do like does Bufo jump up and pantomime the fighting?
Yeah, I'm acting it out, and when he's describing the way that I fought off like 7 attackers at once, I'm like tumbling around and doing cartwheels.
It's a great finale to the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, Forrest is obviously standing there going, I don't remember any of this happening.
Where was I during this?
Yeah,
what? I would definitely be standing next to you by this point, so you weren't left alone to your own devices.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there going like this. What?
Yeah. And I'm like, it's okay, just let him work. It's fine.
But I'm really like,
through all of this,
when he's describing how sad I am, I'm just like, I'm like doing full Buster Keaton, like silent film actor.
But through all of this, once again, any high point, I allude to how it might be like the courage of this family or how they're awesome. But at the same note, using the same to associate all the negative traits with the Wave Riders.
Yes.
Nice.
Why don't anybody who's helping can aid.
Okay, I'll do an aid on that one.
Yeah, and you can aid with, I think it's just, is it plus bond?
Yeah, it's plus bond.
Yes, plus bond.
Bond. So I guess it's charisma probably, and then I have +1.
Yeah.
Is that how it works? All right.
Roll a 007.
See if that did it.
Hey, there you go.
Okay, cool. So you get the +1. But you expose yourself to any danger or retribution from the
Cool.
Okay,
We're in this together, buddy.
so I'm gonna need you to probably, well, unless you have a thing, we could defy danger with charisma. And basically, I want to know how well veiled your insults to the wave breakers were. Like, how insulted are they going to walk away?
Because obviously the stories were fantastic. That's not
everyone's
what we
going to
need.
get the idea. Like, all the other families are going to, like, it's going to sink in. But I want to know how mad the wave breakers are when they walk
Okay.
out here.
That's 10.
All right. Yeah, with your +1, that's 10. So you've
Hey.
managed to say the insults in such a way that the wave breakers just hear that they did a good thing, and they don't focus on the how. But every other house who obviously knew that they were seedy and like didn't belong here anyways, like they pick up on that subtext, and so throughout all of it, like everyone is laughing. The wave breakers obviously haven't like real, or at least their representatives here haven't realized that they're being insulted through this whole story. And I think so. And then like, what's your big closer?
There were he adds in a story about Bufo the Brave meeting a powerful oracle, and that's his way of feeding in the subliminal message of what should happen going forward to the audience.
Yeah.
And
Very nice.
I'm gonna cast a little prestidigitation to have like fireworks go off behind him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, basically,
Kind of like
saying that the braver, more the heroes of this city realize the corruption that lies beneath them, and to cast it out.
Yeah.
and
And I think there's probably a lot of themes about like being the master of your own destiny and being in charge of your direction, and like being in, so basically all anti-slavery stuff.
Yeah.
You have nothing to lose except your chains. Wait, that's something different. Never mind.
Yeah. Cool. So that goes on. When you guys get off stage, everyone is like, you get a standing ovation. Even the wave breakers are up clapping because they didn't pick up on that they were being insulted this whole time. And you receive several runners with little invitations to come and sit at their tables.
Oh, at the different noble houses.
The noble houses invite you to come and sit at their table.
Nice.
So I think there's probably like maybe like a card situation. Like it's sort of like your shim, but maybe it's like made of paper or linen or something. Like, so it'd be a lot more expensive, and so they like hand you a marker that says you're allowed to come and sit at their table.
Well, I make a point throughout the rest of the night to, meet with all of them and speak with them.
What would be the house that my family would have been really close to before my disgrace?
Well, I think your father was probably an enchanter working for the Kelsang.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was going to say.
Are there any
it would be-
Kelsang?
Because they collect the arcane.
Right.
Like that's their trade.
And you said
is
the
arcane.
Kelsang table was empty?
The Kelsang table is empty. Yes, they did not have a representative here.
Okay.
Because if you're sitting at their table, then it means you're authorized to do deals.
Right.
So like your family would have their own area where they
Yeah.
can sit, but it wouldn't be at that table.
Yeah. Okay. So as William's making his rounds to his adoring fans, I would take the opportunity to go say hello to my father now that my heroic tale has been told. Maybe it will have softened his mood a bit.
So you get the, like, when he sees you, he's got like a tear in his eye, but he won't let it fall. Like he's too,
He's got that
too,
glistening look.
too controlled. He will not let the tear fall, but like you can see that his eyes are a little glassy.
Right.
I
I definitely have Forrest come with me.
Okay.
'Cause I
This
don't-
is my dad.
Right? Like in a very unofficial, like, this is totally my bodyguard, guys.
Yeah,
Guys,
this
my-
is a muscly human I have found and brought back with me.
Yeah.
So he, as you approach, he does that like half stand up thing,
Mhm.
and says, "Please sit."
It's good to see you, Father.
And you as well, daughter.
Uh, Father, this is a very good friend of mine, Forrest. Forrest, this is my father, Ptolemus.
So he holds out a like long, slender-fingered hand to shake. What do you headbutt him?
No,
Gently place your forehead into his hand.
yeah.
Offering your throat as a sign of submission.
I'll just hold up my hand and show him that it's like just metal,
Unshakable.
and yeah, and be like,
Fist bump.
Let me. So you just sort of like bop his hand.
yeah. Well, I just understand the principle that I'm like looking at my hand and his, and I'm going,
Yeah. I think he gets it. Like he figures it out, and he's sort of I think he does. He gives you like a little fist bump. So he balls his fist like to show solidarity and
World's
taps your
first fist bump, guys.
taps your
yeah,
but not like this, but like a
yeah.
And so he looks back and he goes, well, I'm hopeful that your association with my daughter has aided her in some way.
He is my personal guard, Father.
Excellent. Hope that you are able to keep her safe, and I thank you for doing such to this point. And he turns and he says, I never believed it. I want you to know that.
Well, whether you did or not, it's not important. What's important is that I'm home for now.
I think you'll find that home is not as lavish as it once was. We had some hard times after your disappearance, but you are, of course, always welcome.
I'll grab his hand and I'll say, "Don't worry, we'll get it all back."
And he like pats the top of your hand. He's like, "That's good, dear. That's good."
So I probably didn't make my ability to use magic openly. Like
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really flash that around. So Mom and Dad probably didn't know that I had a stronger ability in magic that I do.
Okay.
So while I'm kind of holding his hand,
You burn the building down.
no, I'll just like change the temperature of my hand a bit.
Like
Make
get really cold or really hot.
like have my hand warm up, not to the point of like painful,
Mhm.
but like so that he can tell that.
And he's, I mean, as an enchanter, he would have he'd be able to tell what's happening.
Yeah.
So his eyes go a little big and he looks and he goes, all the whole time?
How many
my
people are?
God.
Real quick, how many people are sitting at the table?
It's just him and you and Adelaide right now.
Okay, I'm gonna just ask him real quick. I'm gonna be like, "Are you gonna eat that? The rest of that? Do you eat the rest?"
Oh, of course. There's like a plate of food. He's like, take whatever you want.
You know, there's a
Sweet.
There's like
I
a
reach
whole
over,
buffet thing.
yeah.
reach over, grab his plate, and just
I
start
love
shoving it into my mouth.
So, but you just have two fists, right? So you're just like cramming it into your
Yeah.
face,
yeah,
just
How does
plunging
Forrest eat?
your fists into like some curry
yeah.
and then licking it off.
Is there?
Well, no, he's got a
is
fork
this-
attachment.
Like, does the
Okay.
is
Someone
it
swap
open
this
so
out
that
for
you
me.
could like stick a blade in it or something? Like, could you scoop
No, it's
like with
And
the
then-
bottom like a spoon?
it's an absolutely closed fist.
It's just
I take
ball of
I take a leather thong and I like tie a fork onto his stump.
Okay.
Okay.
So you
I-
pop
I-
up and you start like doing
He
that.
has no idea what to do with it.
Yeah.
What is this?
Man, this will be great for punching people with.
yeah.
This is way
I
more
just-
stabby, but flimsy.
I just tonk Bufo on the head with the fork, Tink! And then jam it into and then jam it into the plate.
I'm sorry. What was your father's name again?
Ptolemus. He asks me if I've always had my
Yeah.
abilities, and I say yes, I have, and I'm gonna help the family before I leave again.
Well, that's. I greatly appreciate that. I'd love to know a little more about your ability, and you get like that. We're now talking about his work
Right.
thing, and he's excited. And so you get like some hushed like magic questions, but he doesn't want to out you, so he's not talking very loud. But you can tell he's excited.
Yeah, yeah,
He's like asking if you can do this or can you do that or. So
yeah. I definitely will sit there and like talk shop with Dad,
okay.
and it like every once in a while I'll just like show him how to do something, but like very small.
Mhm.
So like there's like a spoon on the table or something, and I touch it and it disappears.
Mm.
So just kind of that kind of thing, or like I reach back and I touch Forrest and I do charm person and like have him do something silly for a second, just to kind of like show Dad some of the stuff that I could
Okay.
do.
How does Forrest feel about being used?
He
By
doesn't care.
Adelaide.
He's cool.
Yeah, he don't care. He's eating.
All right.
And
So what
every
is-
now and again, I just keep putting my arm on the back of Adelaide's chair,
Oh, okay.
and she can swat it away or whatever, and I'll be like,
No, I probably leave it there. I'm
Alright.
probably feeling really uncomfortable around my family because I don't really like them very much. They make me feel like I'm not good enough.
Mm.
So having like somebody that I do feel comfortable with, like right behind me, probably makes me feel like it's
Man,
okay.
that must be
I've
tough
got backup.
traveling with William all the time then.
You probably just remind me of home.
I think then this is probably the first time then that you've ever gotten like something like approval from your dad.
Yeah,
Now that he knows that you have magical ability.
yeah. I was always a disappointment until right now.
So what's Wonderful William doing? How are we doing in the room?
Oh, just I'm going around and for every table I sit at, I make a point of addressing everyone and playing up that particular family's strengths, and also taking a time to neg the Wave Riders,
Mm.
and once again stressing how certain that that Kristoff was murdered because of his involvement with some shady dealings,
Right.
and not by Adelaide.
Okay.
It was crazy that such a heinous crime could be done in this fine city.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay.
Move on to the next table, do the same.
Okay. So some of the information that you pick up through like bouncing around is that you need an invite to the Wave Breakers because they're the next house in line.
Ooh.
So
Luckily,
you'll-
I didn't piss them off.
Yeah, you did not piss them off. So, but everyone goes like, "Good luck getting an invite to the next party after that performance," and then like snigger, like. That's kind of how things progress, but you're definitely getting like a warm reception. So they're like everyone is basically like hoping you can get through the next party to come to their party, because like things must be observed. The
Right.
order must be observed.
There are proper channels for all of this.
Yeah.
Well, then on learning that, I do make a point of also seeing the Wave Breakers or whatnot.
Seeing
And
them?
yeah.
So
now that nobody else is listening, though, I don't make the point of being negative to them, because
yeah,
I don't care how
that's
they
the-
feel themselves.
Yeah. So let's pick up with that. Let's pick up with you sitting down at the Wavebreaker table. So is this the last table you come to visit then? After, because you would have found that out at the first table.
I'm doing it in order of like seniority of the houses. So
Okay, so you're just working your way down
Yeah.
the list, so that they can't fault you for that. So they as you approach, one of them, like a sort of gruff looking guy, gets up, and he's obviously chewing on some food, and he goes, "Oh, excuse me, what? Come sit. That show was hilarious."
Thank
what
you.
you
Thank
did, what you did with that little frog man, very funny.
Yeah, we're here all week. In fact,
Yes, yes. I tell you, I have not met one of the what are they? The one of the
Anorians.
well, he says Anorians, but what's the delineation? What, like, is there a sub, or do you just say Toad folk or
Frog folk and toad people.
Toad people? Okay, I have not met one of the Toad people.
oh
Uh,
yes.
I've seen a few frog folk, but not one of the Toad people.
Well, if you'll remember, most of them were wiped out, and Bufo is one of the last remaining, if not the last.
Oh,
If you like, I
Okay.
can introduce you to him right now.
that would be exciting. It's very rare, very rare. The you get the sense that he's more interested in the like value of people than the like humanity of people. But he's
No shit.
well. I would love to meet him. Should you wish to bring him over anytime? In fact, would you like to come to our party at the Wavebreaker Estate and bring your little friend?
We would be honored.
Ah, I would be honored to have you. I did see you come in with a rather large gentleman too, didn't I?
Yes. He is the personal guard of Miss Uleri.
Ah, shame. We've been hurting for good fighters lately.
Well, I do hear that he does enjoy the occasional bout. So maybe we could set up a contest of strength.
Oh, perhaps. My my man Rangdal would love a good contest. He hasn't had a fair challenge in quite a while.
That sounds like a great idea.
Yes. Well, my man here will arrange it, of course. But food, drink. Well, let us engage in revelry. Like he orders more food to come over, and like tries to just chat you up, basically.
Can I discern realities
Of course.
to see if there's anything? Because like these people are ultimately responsible for the destruction of my people.
Yeah.
So I would like to know if there's anything that I notice that this is his favorite type of wine or something like that. Something that could be useful later on once my character starts thinking about revenge.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead and roll discern realities. Oof.
Ouch.
Let's see. You cannot discern any answers. Well, no, nothing happening is a bad way to deal with this problem. So you get some XP.
I get an XP. Okay, so let's see, how do I mark that on here? Let's see.
And I get a move here.
Yeah.
So I think so are you like getting close to the table? Like
yes.
You probably have to come over real close to like inspect things and see what's going on.
Yes.
So I think you get a little too close, and he's like, yes, you, the toad person. Come, sit.
Okay. I'll go over there and sit with them.
And he sort of like throws his arm around you. And he says, so, and he's like leaning down, kind of like to a kid, and he's like, so, tell me more about these heroics.
I gave Bufo the stare and nod.
So I'm supposed to chat up. I'm supposed to talk up my own antics or my own heroics. Okay. So I guess because I rolled a miss.
Yeah.
I sort of lower I feel ashamed about this, but in order to keep our cover and not blow it, I describe heroics that I engaged in during this war between the toad people and the frog folk. and I feel really ashamed about using that moment to in an underhanded way. I feel like I'm doing a disservice to my people to lie about what happened
Yeah.
in that altercation.
I
don't want
think
to. I don't want to give away that I hate the wave breakers with
and that's their fault. And
all my being.
you do get the sense throughout this conversation that he is not aware that it's his fault.
Right.
Like they don't see it that way. Like they didn't even put together that their like occupation would cause the civil war between your people.
Okay, so then I present it as if, oh, the frog folk and the toad people have always been at war,
Right.
and that was just the most recent front on the war, and that was how my people got wiped out. I whitewash the effect or the impetus that came from the Wave City.
Mm-hmm. So he's like, yes, that's a real tragedy. You seem to be an exceptional lot. It's a shame I couldn't have met more of you.
Yes, I think that every day. That it's a shame that there's not more of us.
Mm.
So this, and like he's this big oaf guy, and he's like shoving food in his mouth and like talking down to you. But
I offer a toast to the toad people of Black Fountain in Muckmire Bog.
Okay, he raises his toast to the great sacrifices made and the intense loss. May we never see such a waste again.
Waste. Oh, that's terrible.
He's not a nice person.
Well,
I pretend to drink and I don't actually drink. Put it down.
Well, we appreciate your hospitality, and we will definitely see you at your manor next whatever time period we have agreed on.
Yes.
Next,
But I think it's only fair that I meet with all the lesser families.
Oh, of course. You carry on. You are an important person, and you deserve your time in the spotlight. We will see you at the Wavebreaker Estate on whatever morrow.
Yeah. All right. So I grab Bufo and we head on to the next and continue on with my master plan.
I am like, you can feel me like vibrating with anger as you like scoop me up, like, okay, time to go, Bufo. Like,
Aww.
Oh, I feel so bad for being mean to Bufo now.
Bufo.
oh, he's gonna get his. It's gonna be sweet. He's gonna take this whole family down.
Yep.
All right. So the rest of the evening, unless anybody has anything they want to accomplish with any of the families or with your family, otherwise the rest of the evening goes into just chatting with the nobility and also the other artisans. And any last thoughts before you leave the party?
No, I think I've accomplished all my goals.
I give my father all the coin that I have.
Oh, okay. He greatly appreciates that. And he says to come home as soon as you're able. And he slips you an address because he's not in the palace anymore.
Right.
Okay. So it's coming up on noon. Anybody do we want to take like a 5-10 minute break and then because I gotta sign up for Big Bad Con, and then maybe we can do like XP and Stars and Wishes and that kind of stuff?
Sure.
Yes. Is our lovely producer back from his quick break that he was taking?
He said like 5 minutes.
Yeah, he said that like 4 minutes ago.
I hope he is back. That was okay.
I know Forrest still needs to accomplish the thing that he was looking for when he came to town, but
What is Forrest still need to do?
but Adelaide ruined it.
Well, I do let Forrest know that I've set him up with a bout of strength for the next week, so he's going to get some fully licensed and enabled punchings.
Oh,
You're welcome.
Oh,
nice.
All right. Do we have our producer back?
I don't know.
He may have gotten eaten by the. Oh no, his kidneys are gone.
Right? Stretch.
Well, the Big Bad Con site is starting to crash, so that's a good sign.
That is a great sign.
We can just vamp while you multitask.
Yeah,
Right?
you guys. Well, let's.
Luckily, Big Bad Con does it exactly right, where you can only sign up for 2 things.
Yeah. So
So
hopefully I can get my
Yes.
merch.
Do they
picker
do
on.
full reg for all the games online?
Yes, it's full reg for all the games, but they do it in waves, so you can only sign up for 2 this week, and then 2 more next week, and then it's open.
Oh, cool.
Come on.
That's
Interesting.
neat. That is
Oh,
neat.
haha.
Well, cool.
really
Well,
helps
I-
people who work on Saturdays. 'Cause
Yeah.
that can often be a problem with conventions.
There's
Yeah.
no button to sign up.
So I think Adelaide would have taken some time to talk to Forrest about
Boundaries.
no, about like her family and her parents and how she came from like money and that I ran away to go be with a creeper and I was a magician's assistant and I probably just like because we were with my family like it dug up like a bunch of like old memories and so I probably would spend some time chatting with Forrest about like Adelaide's history and where she's from and finishing school and all that kind of bullshit.
Could the 3 of us be like on a parapet looking out over the city and being like really up in our feelings right now? Because
You mean the 2 of you while I have no feelings?
well,
I
maybe
think
though
I'm dragging out your feelings for me.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
think-
gonna say that. I'm gonna like make moves on you.
It's looking out longingly over the city for things that we can have.
Do we? Yeah.
Right?
I don't understand that concept.
and
That's why you're
also
not here.
like both.
Well, that's why I'm not there. I don't understand.
Yeah.
All things I can have. It's just a matter of finding a big enough lever.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Well, I also think Forrest is so far from home,
Right.
and Bufo and Adelaide both tried to. I mean, Bufo's never been to this city before, but Bufo went off to find adventure and
Mhm.
kind of forget about what had happened back home. And he, by chance, ended up right in the city where the people responsible for
Yeah.
the
Yeah, it's all-
destruction of his village. So, like, he's something about fate has pulled both Bufo and Adelaide back to this
Mhm.
place.
Yeah.
And maybe they're having a conversation about what that means and
Yeah.
why that happened. And Forrest might be trying to process that because he's not feeling the same thing. He is very far from home and does not feel like necessarily he was called here by fate.
Well, right. And I mean, you saw like a buddy you knew when you were a kid, and instead of having those feelings of like, I miss home, your feelings are like, hey, I got to see a buddy. So you don't quite
Yeah.
understand our like
Yeah.
sorrow for the way we're feeling because you're like, what are you talking about? This has been a great trip.
We're being
Yeah.
super emo, and you're just Andrew WK, just having a blast. And
Yeah,
we're not-
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Exactly.
And some
Not to
tasty
mention,
food
like,
and-
Not to mention, like, I'm totally just FYI, like this is full out like what Forrest is like very straightforward. So he has never really, I guess the way you'd have to play the story is because I never did RP Forrest having an interest in Adelaide and then seeing her and realizing that she's, this hot female, Forrest just wants what he wants. So
Look
yeah,
at
this is
himself. Isn't she hot?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so while you guys are sad, I'm like, man,
I've had a great day.
yeah, I'm thinking about how am I going to advance my moves with Adelaide? You know, like how am I going to make this thing happen?
You're not suave nature. How are you going to communicate what you want?
Yeah.
Without being Tarzan about it?
Yeah,
Bufo
exactly.
and Adelaide are having like these deep conversations about what does it all mean that we're back here, and then
Yeah.
Forrest just like waltzes up. He's like, "Hey, so like, want to go somewhere? Or
We're gonna
what's
do
up?
this.
You want to get out of here?
You wanna get out of here?" And we're like, Bufo turns around like, "This is not the right time, Forrest. Read the room. Read the room."
Read the room.
So I managed to get into Merkerger, and as soon as the page finally loaded for Apocalypse World with Vincent Baker, full reg, and Mutants in the Night full reg. So it was already.
Did you get a second game?
No, but I'll figure it out later because those were the
Okay.
two that I was worried about filling up. Fast.
I'm gonna run an online Mutants in the Night, by the way, so you can.
Oh, I would love to be in that.
Awesome.
I picked it up, but I have not yet played it.
So yeah, so we all had our emotional moment and processed our feelings of inadequacy and destiny and how it's playing into our lives right now. And Forrest was trying to hit on Adelaide unsuccessfully.
I just realized something. Okay, I while Adelaide and I are talking, when she shares her feelings with me, I realize why she looked so wistfully at that bracelet that I stole, and I pull it out of my pocket and I offer it to her and I say, I understand. I think I understand your feelings towards this bracelet, and I think that you should take it back because if you want to feel that way, then that's your right to do so.
So I think I'd take it and I'd kind of stare at it, and then I would look at you and I would go, I think I get why you would want to take it. You wouldn't want me to feel bad about whatever it is that I lost that this thing connects me to. And like now that I understand how much you've lost, I get why you would not want to keep things around you from the stuff that makes you hurt. And I think I get why I shouldn't wear this anymore. And so I take it and I just chuck it off the balcony.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great place to close the scene and finish out the thing and move into XP if everybody's cool with that.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think we get like a tag like after the credits of Adelaide having a bad dream about like something dark and bad is happening beneath the Kelsang Palace. Like that you tapped into that place of power, like you tapped into that energy from that rift for your ritual earlier, and you get like the voices are like controlling your dream and showing you this like something dark is happening down there, but you can't like quite get your fingers on it. And then fade to black.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do we want to do some XP and then we can do stars and wishes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Where's the XP questions? I always lose those.
Did you do the thing for your alignment? Right? That's one of them.
I think that's one of them.
Well, yeah, but there's also the generic ones, which is the actual ones we care about.
All right.
The alignment one's written on your sheet, or it should be.
All right. So when you
Use
reach the end of a
magic.
session, choose one of your bonds that you feel is resolved, completely explored, no longer relevant, or otherwise.
I think I resolved 2.
Oh, cool. Ask the player of the character you have the bond with if they agree. If they do, mark XP and write a new bond with whomever you wish.
Well,
So,
I had Adelaide trusting me with the secret, and I think it's no longer really a secret, and I
Yep.
think I've done a part in resolving that problem.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That one definitely I think has gotten resolved.
And then, ironically, the Bufo, I am writing an epic tale about Bufo escaping the Toda side.
Oh, the Toda side.
Toda side.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it's gotta have a catchy title.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
I
did
think
not
that was
expect the ability to present it immediately, but it is now a famed story.
There you go. Yeah.
Anybody else have a bond they?
Yeah, I stole Adelaide's bracelet because it looked like it was making her sad. I think that we have resolved that.
Absolutely.
And is that 1 XP each?
It's 1 XP per bond that you resolve.
Oh, perfect.
I think.
Yep.
That's how I would read it, since they don't get resolved every session.
Yep.
Anybody else?
I mean my bonds are connected to the same piece of information as them, so the secrets.
Oh, okay. So did you resolve your secret bonds?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I mean 3/4's gone, so his bond doesn't really matter.
3/4 is lost to the other world. Okay, so once we do bonds,
Yep.
let's see. Look at alignment. If you fulfilled the alignment, just
I was just gonna say that our producer was saying that Handor kind of unintentionally resolved my bond with my family by helping give me the strength to confront them and deal with my feelings about it. And that even though that's not like an official bond on my sheet, I definitely feel like that was kind of unintentional, but definitely helpful in helping me be stronger.
yeah. That was a really good. I really enjoyed that scene. I'll talk about that.
I mean, isn't Handor, isn't your bond with Adelaide that you're sworn to protect her?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could still continue to protect me, but I feel like you were there for me in a moment where I needed you in a way that wasn't your fists. I just needed your presence, you being there to protect me from myself, basically.
You could say that the one was resolved, but move it to a different bond.
I was gonna
Right.
say, you said fist. I was gonna say my dick.
But yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think you could resolve.
Deep sigh.
I think you could say that you resolved that bond with me and then create a new bond. Because I feel like you have protected me. You've definitely done that.
Sure.
But this particular moment was a way that you protected Adelaide in a way that was unintentional. Like you weren't protecting me by punching someone.
Mm-hmm.
You were being the person I needed there with me so I could confront my family.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say you resolved that bond.
Okay. That's a good call.
Yeah.
So
So now I gotta come up with a different one.
Yeah. So think about that, and then we'll do. So if you filled your alignment, then you get to mark XP. So if you
Use magic to directly aid another.
Yeah.
I made
Barely.
fireworks.
you made sparkles.
I made fireworks behind you when you were telling your
technically,
story.
we could say that your ritual aids all of the indentured servants.
See, that's helping.
Would we say that Bufo trying to save the 3 animal folk in those cages, that's leap into danger without a plan?
Yeah, because you definitely
Definitely.
didn't have you didn't see them run
Yeah,
away, figure out a way to get them out. You just jumped in there and acted first.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Perform my art to aid someone else. Yep.
Did that. What's Forrest's alignment?
Defeat a worthy opponent, which did not happen.
Okay.
Unless, of course, a worthy opponent would be
The sandwich you ate?
the food or
Well, I mean, it doesn't say that you have to
It doesn't have to be a physical fight. He defeated a worthy opponent is in that he managed to successfully navigate a hobnob party without punching someone in the face.
Without bunch. Yeah, you didn't.
You didn't headbutt a single noble.
Yeah, I
That's
think
a worthy
your
opponent.
biggest. I think your biggest opponent is being appropriate in society at this point.
Sometimes Forrest is Forrest's biggest worthy opponent.
yeah.
Yes. And you defeated him today. Good job, buddy.
All right. Well, if the table feels that counts, then go ahead and mark XP. All right. And then there's a few general questions. Did we learn something new and important about the world?
Yes.
Yes.
I think
Oh
we
yeah.
did.
Yeah, I would say yes, especially the all the stuff we learned about the noble houses and the
Mhm.
slave and indentured servant.
And how Adelaide wasn't actually guilty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
guys,
totally,
I didn't.
totally was
I
a
didn't-
misunderstanding.
Totally
Yeah.
a misunderstanding. I totally didn't kill anybody.
Did we overcome a notable monster or enemy? I don't think so.
I don't think we did.
We didn't overcome anything yet. I would say that
No,
you
I
laid the
don't think so.
groundwork to overcome the wave breakers, but we haven't
Yeah.
gotten there yet.
Yeah.
Did we loot a memorable treasure?
I would say no.
Yeah.
Hey,
So I did.
people, animals that can speak are memorable treasures. We saved them.
We didn't loot them.
You can treasure them.
Kind
but
of-
you did
we
not
kind of-
acquire them as property, which
I
is
have-
sort of counterintuitive to what you want.
They are precious, but they are not loot.
Yes.
I have a
Yeah.
ridiculous amount of ritual components.
Yes, you have a Bufo-sized ritual component bundle, which was really awesome. So something that I've gotten from the Gauntlet is a thing called Stars and Wishes, where we just go around the table, or in this case the Discord channel, and everyone says a star, like you call something out that you thought was really excellent, and wishes something that you wish you could see next time, or something you wish you had seen. And maybe Rob will correct me if I'm getting Stars and Wishes wrong. I didn't actually read the post. I'm doing this based on my own experience.
No, you got it. That's perfect.
I'm making it my own.
But it's been a nice way to kind of end the session. So I can go first. I wanna give a star to Bufo for sort of changing the way I thought things were gonna go. I did not see it turning into a save the slaves, and it was sort of. I feel like that I see where I put the thing in there, but I didn't prep for it. Like I didn't expect that to happen, and it was a really like sort of heartfelt moment, like freeing these people and saving the frog person and then letting them go. So that was a really great scene. I really enjoyed that.
Yay.
And then wishes. What would my wish be?
Obviously, that Bufo comes back and plays with us again.
So
Bufo will return
Bufo
Yeah.
will return.
in Dungeon World 6.
So we'll have the return of Bufo. I think that's probably one of my wishes. I wish that we would get more. I wish for more in character stuff with Forrest. I want to see more of Forrest's like dialogue with Varen Gray, right? Like I want to see their bro moments, and stuff like that. So maybe we'll get some more of that next session when it's fighting time.
I want to star Wonderful William doing the pitch outside of the Wave Breakers shop. I like that Wonderful William we actually had the pieces that Wonderful William did to do that, because I think that was like, it could have just been something very simple of like, oh, I'm just out there and I'm telling a story, and then it distracts somebody. But by putting himself in competition with the shop, it made a lot more sense why that would distract them enough. And it actually did that +2 instead of a +1 really did make the difference between a miss and a hit, because it brought it from a 5 to a 7. And then my wish would be I think my wish is probably to learn more about the structures that prop up this whole system of the indentured servants, and how all these different families tie together and interact with one another. I think that there's probably a lot of juice there, I think, for building out Amaran? Amaran?
Am-
Amaran?
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 It's Ameran. I let
It's
a
Kendra-
Marin.
I let
It's
Kendra-
a Marin. It's not that hard. It's a Marin.
Amaran.
Amaran.
Amaran. Like America.
I feel like this happens like in character like every time. Where I'm
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone's like, "Oh, this is shipping to." Oh
I'm like,
shoot,
it's-
Amaran? Amaran?
It's a Marin.
Amaran?
Amaran?
Well, it's a cultural
You say
thing.
that, Tom?
They call it Amiran. We call it.
Yeah.
Foreigners
Oh, yeah,
call it
yeah,
Amaran.
It's the America thing.
Which syllable has the accent on it?
Yeah.
Well, cool.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna give a star to Forrest, but specifically Handor, for making character development and learning about, how your emotions work between you and your character, how to connect those two things together, and to advance kind of personal character growth forward and incorporate it into the story, and not just have it as an internal dialogue, but how that's actually functioning outside of yourself as well. So that's, yeah. And then I think what I'd like to see is I think what I'd like to see is Bufo make headway with taking down the man and finding a way to come to some type of peace between his feelings about what happened and what they did to his people.
All right. Well, I'm gonna
Wait.
Oh.
Why were both Gordon and Kurt smirking when Gidget was saying that
You're obviously not reading producer chat.
Yeah, our producer is making jokes in the chat that he would like to give Handor a star
Yes.
for finding a way to introduce his dick into the conversation somehow.
Oh,
That would be what they were laughing at while I
Yeah.
was talking.
So thanks for that.
gotcha.
So my star of the day is going to be for our dear Adelaide for basically exploring some of the character development, actually taking point with a lot of the it's my city, it's my family, it's my everything, and pushing the story, basically taking the narrative control for the time and not making it suck. As for Wish, I'm gonna have to be a little more selfish here because I am wishing to see us topple a house, a family, in a more non-stabby sense, because that is something that I haven't really had the opportunity to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And just seeing how that develops and kind of just having some fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've recently had the wonderful experience of playing in like Christopher Gray's games and a game that Rob ran at the convention, and I've seen a lot more examples of how to overcome a challenge and add stakes that have nothing to do with fighting, and so this is my attempt to incorporate some of that into this game. So
You're a good jobber.
I'm hoping it works.
You get a star. GM gets a star for
GM
making
star.
GMs can get stars too for running a full session with no combat that was still really interesting and awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, thank you guys.
Well, what about you, Handor?
I'm gonna say
He's
I
gonna
would
give a
star-
negative star for the exact same reason.
Where's my fighting?
No, I love it. I actually really felt compelled a few times to be like, you guys gave me like 3-4 opportunities to like just start shit, right? But I could tell the mood, the tone, everything, the way that everything was going, that this is going to be a more fluid, in-depth, emotional storyline. So I try to keep it light with any interaction I had. But so the star, I would say the star for me would go to Rob, right? That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, I would say being a complete scrub RP player.
Wow,
in
you
this-
just met him and you're insulting him.
I think he's talking about
talking about myself. Being a complete scrub and like having no experience and not being able to see the way things can play out, but for you to be able to come in and just jump in and create this full-fledged character that had this story that melded like just pure, like perfectly fluid with every character surrounding you. And although at times I will say it reminded me so much of like an SNL Debbie Downer skit where every time Bufo would say something, it was like wah wah wah, right? But it was so great to watch you work the way you were able to just jump into something and then like a flowing river, just go with it, like it
integrate into our previously established family.
Completely
Kurt was
organic.
giving me some good hooks though. So Kurt does a good job of being like, here, what about you want this? And I'll go, yeah, I'll take that. That sounds
So what
good.
you're saying is he's a really good hooker.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, then the both of you can share a star then, because it felt, I mean, honestly, it felt great. It was I think the hardest part for me so far in doing this is trying to be a player, but I have so much fun being an observer that I it's so hard for me to not just be like, oh man, this is a good fucking story.
It's like, oh shit, I'm actually participating.
Yeah, and Kurt will be like, how does Forrest interact? And I'll be like, shit, how would Forrest interact? Because I've just been enjoying this shit, man. What would he do? I don't know. like it's been what? It's taken me 5 months, 6 months for me to realize that Forrest would be like head over heels with Adelaide. Like,
I mean, I feel like that's how stories work.
Yeah.
Like
It
Okay,
took her
that's
being
fair.
in her full regalia to.
Right.
yeah.
for
The
you to
producers got
realize
mad
that.
there wasn't a love story.
I had a
and so
she's all
suddenly
that
now here's one
moment.
thrust upon
Mhm.
us.
I had a she's all that moment where I
Yeah.
took off the grungy adventure gear and put on the little slinky party dress, and everyone went, "Oh my god, she's hot!" So it's fine.
all right, yeah. So
what do you want to see for the future? What's your wish?
my wish is that Forrest would make babies with Adelaide. No, I'm just kidding. My
Can elves
my
do
wish
that?
my wish would definitely be.
We know that I don't lay eggs. That's the one thing that we established.
So weird. So weird. I don't understand that at all.
It is definitely. I think along. I hate to steal this, but I was enjoying it thoroughly all along as well. Is to see the. Actually, I really want to just watch you guys work to overthrow what's the word? A regime, like a horrible, terrible regime, and kind of just float, not really. I know that Kurt said he'd love to see me dialogue more, which I can try to do, and it's gonna be the dialogue that I have. I think is gonna be the consistent. Like if Forrest isn't like trying to punch somebody's face, it's
Or
gonna be
grumbly.
that kind of. Yeah. If he's not, yeah, absolutely. Just it's gonna be the splashes of comic relief where he realizes that this guy, it's funny because he's ugly, or
Yeah. Well, and
Well,
those,
don't worry.
those are
There's
great.
there's the part for you to play in the
Oh,
story.
definitely.
Williams already cast you.
Yeah.
Williams
gotcha.
cast you in his tale. You will play the part.
Okay, cool. That's fine.
But yeah, I didn't mean that you needed to have like that Forrest should be more eloquent. I meant I want to see more of those moments like you there trying to eat with your fists and like
Oh, that was
trying to
great.
like hit on Adelaide in front of her dad without understanding it's a bad idea.
Right.
Like, I want more of those moments because a lot of times we get like it'll come around to you, and we'll get like, well, I'm not sure Forrest is standing there. Like it'll move on, and so
Yep.
So I would add a wish to that, is that I think with Forrest you could probably use, like Matt can use his inexperience as a role player to channel that into Forrest's sort of outsider
Mhm.
attitude, and
Yeah.
in the same way that you're like, oh, I'm not really sure. Well, you can just do it, and then if it's weird or wonky or whatever, well, that fits perfectly with Forrest
Right.
not understanding how things work in Amarine.
Amirin?
A Marin.
I think it's
Amarin.
Amarin?
Marin guy.
Chicago.
It's sort of the Drax character, right? Like you're sort of
Yeah.
like a lot of your lines end up being comic relief, but it's because the character does not understand what's happening.
Yeah.
Right.
I stand really still.
Mm-hmm.
And I also like that your character does not come off as stupid. I think that a lot of times,
Yeah.
and I don't know what like his stats are or anything like that, but I think a lot of times people will play outsider as, oh, this person is just dumb. Like they just don't they don't understand basic things about how the world works. And you're not playing it that way. And I really like that. It's
Yeah.
like you don't understand the cultural
Yeah.
Mhm.
process for things. And that works really well for me, because I think a lot of good comedy and a lot of the character can come from that, because we've all been in that position before. Everything that we've ever done, we start out being total newbies at it,
Oh yeah.
and then you learn how to do it. And I think that Forrest is learning how to navigate the politics of the city and being part of an adventuring group and everything, and that's really cool to watch.
Yeah.
And that can be allowed to breathe, and I think that's a really interesting space to play in for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Rob, as our guest, do you have anything you want to plug, or any place you want people to look you up?
You can see my portfolio for all of the art that I do for RPGs and stuff at nerdypapergames.com. nerdypapergames.com. And then you can see all the stuff that I did or most of the stuff that I did for Christopher Gray's Happiest Apocalypse on Earth.
Any nominated?
Any nominated, yeah. And yeah, that's the best place to find me. You can also find me on Facebook and Google Plus and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. Come see us next time. We do Dungeon World every second Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Same bat time, same bat channel. Pixel Scandal, Google it or whatever.
And
We'll see
I'll
you
actually
next
take the
time.
3 seconds of effort that Kurt isn't to say it's going to be the 13th of October.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
the 13th.
Is that when Big Bad Con is?
Oh God.
Oh,
It may not be that weekend.
It won't be that weekend because also I will be on my honeymoon at that point.
Hey.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry. Get your priorities straight.
Yeah, Big Bad Con is October 13th. So I won't be here.
Okay.
we will
so-
definitely be moving the game day, guys.
Yeah, we're gonna be moving
Well, wait.
game day.
Let me double check, because so we've done this. We scheduled the last 3 when there was a UFC. So I'm gonna look right now to see when McGregor fights Khabib, and I will tell you the weekend that there's no UFC pay-per-view.
Okay, well we don't. Our audience
We'll
doesn't
plan
care about that.
Yeah.
No.
Just follow Pixel Scandal, and you'll
Yeah.
see exactly when the next one's going to happen.
Listen
Yeah,
to that guy.
twitter.com/pixel scandal. All right,
We'll try to
thanks,
get
everybody.
a scheduled date up as soon as possible.
Come watch our podcast tonight. Maybe we will have found a date by then.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh yeah.
All right. Or well,
All right,
all
bye,
then. Thank
guys.
you.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you
everybody.
guys for letting me guest star.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thanks
thank
for
you, Rob.
coming.